atlasrefuel.com.
How do you think he does that?
I don't know. He's probably been practicing his whole life.
Do you think I could ever do that?
No.
He makes it look so effortless.
Such grace.
There you go, Mr. Bartolome. Your AC unit is good to go.
We love you, Bonnie! You're my favorite!
Bonnie Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Rooter Service. Making fans in Sacramento for over 35 years.
Did you see that? He looked right at me.
The Sacramento Republic FC and the USL request that you refrain from tossing any objects onto the field.
If a game ball enters your seating area, please return to the nearest ball retriever or to the field of play.
Any spectator entering the field or interrupting play in any manner shall be ejected and subject to arrest.
The Sacramento Republic FC and the USL thank you for your cooperation.
Hey fans, on behalf of Sacramento Republic FC and the entire organization, we hope you enjoy the match.
Well, friendlies are supposed to be tune-ups, maybe give the reserves some extra time out there on the pitch, but ever since West Brom and the Rangers from Scotland have come to town, the Sacramento Republic have been playing at a different level. They are 4-0, have scored 15 goals, allowing just 3. They have been purely dominant. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rob McAllister, along with my broadcast partner, Kevin Goldthwaite. Kevin, this team has just been incredible. They're 14-6-3 on the season, and they're playing a Hammerheads team now from Wilmington, North Carolina, that is struggling a little bit. They played better as of late, but let's just talk about the Republic. They have been so good. Why have they been able to play so well?
I think you mentioned it. It's really important that you really focus on those games against West Brom. I think we've seen a different Republic team. It looked like they were really hitting their stride going into those games, playing against a quality side from the EPL, performing very, very well, getting a good result, coming out and just absolutely hitting full stride after those games. So it's been great to see that their confidence is fully like in full effect right now. I love the way they're playing. They're being real aggressive, real decisive, and I think full credit to those matches, those friendlies that we had about a month ago to really put this squad back in full form right now.
Well, the Hammerheads are 6-6-8 on the season. They've been playing a little bit better as of late. They're right out of the hunt there for that final 8th position in the playoffs here. Now, Sacramento, they win tonight. They get a home match. They could be hosting one of these teams they play in the next few weeks here. So for the Hammerheads, what's their key tonight against a red-hot Republic?
Yeah, red-hot is exactly right. Coming in here, I think the record for the Republic, 6-1-1, are doing phenomenal at home. Great results so far. And really with the Hammerheads, they got to come in here, and they are absolutely fighting for that eighth and final playoff spot. So they're coming into a 3-game West Coast road trip. Really important for them to come out here, get on the right foot for this road trip, try to get a result. But you know what? Sacramento's been playing so well at home, it's going to be real difficult for them to fight and get a result here tonight, which is great for Republic because of how well they're playing lately.
They're only allowing about a goal a game, and it's only gotten better as the season has gone on. We've seen the back four starting to solidify a little bit. You have Mickey Daly, you know, Emerald Clementa's back there as well, Nemanja Vukovic. Those three have been solid. That left back position has seen some changes of late. Chad Bartolome in there once again. How have you assessed his play over the last several weeks?
Chad has come in and played absolutely brilliantly for a forward filling in at left back. I don't know how many times Chad's played that position before, but he looks like it's an old stalwart position for him that he's played many, many times before. He's had a couple trouble spots here and there with players getting in behind him, but you know what? For a forward, having a few slip-ups each game, that's okay. I think Chad's come out and done really, really well, and I think if he wants to see minutes on this team, he's got to be that left back, and he's done a great job so far.
A lot of guys have been very exciting. Tommy Stewart may be the man of the week so far. A hat trick. First time ever we've seen that for the Republic player. Inaugural season. Of course, there's going to be a first time for everything. Tommy Stewart playing out of his mind, double-digit goals already.
Yeah, Tommy's just firing right now. And, you know, it's one of those moments for strikers where they find their moments and they score goals when they're given the opportunity. And I feel like Tommy's that guy. He's not the flashiest player. He doesn't do too many crazy runs or crazy tricks with the ball, but the guy finds himself in great positions. We've always said that he makes great runs into the channels, and he's finding himself in those spots where he's getting shots on goal. And right now, those shots are going in the back of the net, which is, as a striker, that's what you want to see happen.
Well, the Republic are going to have to keep their eye on Sammy Ochoa today. He has been named the USL Pro Player of the Week for Week 22. He has been phenomenal lately, really leading the charge for their Hammerheads. How does that defense slow him down? You
know, it's just one of those things. Sammy Ochoa's got a great resume as well. He's played with the Sounders in the MLS, so he's got good experience. I think it's really, really important for these guys to come in and shut him down. Don't give him space on the ball at any time if possible.
And let's get to your starting lineups here, and we'll begin with the Sacramento Republic. We'll step aside for that, and then we'll give you the Wilmington Hammerheads as well.
Deep. Our foundation strong. Our story has just begun, but our game has stood the test of time. This is a game of cities, a game of countries. This, my friends, is the world's game. A game played to the sound of chants, to the sound of anthems. This game is played to the sound of glory. We don't only cherish this game, we revere it. It is our heart, our soul, our everything. And although this game is for everyone, this club is ours. We are Sacramento. Indomitable, we stand. For the Republic, we stand.
And let's get to your starting lineups here for your Sacramento Republic. Well, Jake Gleason just back in town. He will not be playing tonight. He was up with the Portland Timbers, and so it'll be Dominic Jakubek, who is allowing just 1.14 goals against this season. Emerald Clementa played very well at that right back position so far this season. Mickey Daly will be in the center along with Nemanja Vukovic. Those pair have played exceptionally well in the last several weeks for the Republic. Again, Chad Bartolome, that left back position we talked about with Kevin Goldthwait just a few moments ago. And in the middle, Octavio Guzman really has come on a late of season, really been a force for the Republic. He'll be alongside in the middle with Ivan Mirkovic. And then out on the wings, again, the two assist leaders for the Republic, it will be Rodrigo Lopez, who has 8 on the year, tied with the league lead for 8 there, also 7 goals on the season. And with 5 assists on the year, it is Max Alvarez from Napa, California. And of course, up top, Tommy Stewart, who has 10 goals on the year. He has been just incredible in the last 2 weeks, and Justin Braun as well. For the Wilmington Hammerheads, Brad Stuber in the goal box, Tom Parrott, Andre Campbell, Christian Davidson, Ashani Fairclough in the back 4. And in the midfield will be Paul Nicholson, Brian Ackley, Corbin Bone, who just joined the team a week ago, Mark Gottleman, Drew Ruggles, and Cody Arno. So as we looked at this Hammerheads lineup, we know so much about a couple of players. Sammy Ochoa looks like he'll be coming off the bench tonight because they've got a big stretch ahead of them. They've got 3 matches with here in about a week. That is a tough stretch. They've got to probably pick some of their battles where they're going to play their guys. They've got Orange County, they got the Galaxy coming up. Maybe they concede a little bit here against the Republic, but this would also be a very big win for the Hammerheads.
Yeah, the coaching staff for the Hammerheads are coming in this week with a different game plan. It's not necessarily that they're planning for one game tonight. They're really, really planning for these next 2 to 3 games on this road trip. So it's going to have to be kind of a chess game for them, who they're playing, who they're sitting, and when to bring subs in and when not to bring subs in. So it's kind of a different strategy that you don't typically see week in and week out. But the fact that they have 3 games in 5 days, it's tough. It is very, very tough. And I bet you almost all the players on this roster will be used at some point in the next few games.
Beautiful night now, and now let's go down to the field for our national anthem. And here is Shannon Harding as we get ready for yet another home match here at Bonnie Field.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Moments away from kickoff here at Bonnie Field. Rob McAllister, Kevin Goldthwait with you this evening. A beautiful 73 degrees here in Sacramento at Cal Expo. The Republic have been so dominant here at home in the capital city on the season. They are 7-1-2. Meanwhile, they have a record of 14-6-3, currently in 3rd place with a 45 points to tally. Wilmington, 26 points, 6-6-8. Currently in 12th place, but just 3 points behind that 8th slot. They are 4-3-2 on the road this season. Not too bad for a team who's gone cross-country and making quite the California swing this evening. The Republic will be in their cherry maple uniforms. Meanwhile, Wilmington sky blue and that white stripes along the top of the kits there. It's time to take the pregame snap here as we get lined up. The Republic taking on the Hammerheads here this evening. As we look down the injury report, first time in a long time, Kevin, nobody for the Republic. That's a good sign to see this late in the year.
Yeah, Preki's got all his tools in the shed right now, ready to go, ready to be brought out and used tonight. So it's something nice to see. You don't typically see this in this part of the season either, where everyone's healthy and ready to play. Good sign, no excuses tonight.
And let's go down to the field for the coin toss.
Stay as you are. Sacramento kickoff. Good luck, guys.
Sacramento will kick off, and they'll head to the north end of the field. Meanwhile, the Hammerheads will head south toward the river. It'll be Dominic Jacobek in the box. Brad Stuber is the goalkeeper for the Hammerheads tonight, as this will be yet another opportunity for the Republic to extend their unbeaten streak. They have now won as many as 7 matches, or not, I should say unbeaten matches at 7 at this point in time. They are really looking to go towards at least 9. They have been playing so well. And this is the first and only matchup between, there should be the first matchup between the two teams. They'll play one more in about a week from now. Now, Wilmington is going to be without Sammy Ochoa to start this match. He is available to come off the bench. So we'll be interesting whether or not they will use him later on as a strong sub to try to change up the tempo of this match here tonight. Our referee is Alex Wilsey, Vincent Decoris, Eric Earhart, and Alex Angel Jr. will be the 4th official here this evening. And so as we go, coaches will be Preki, 2 times MLS scoring champ and MVP, and American National Soccer Hall of Fame inductee in 2010. Meanwhile, David Irving, former English striker, has been coached in Wilmington since 1998. Also played at Everton a little bit earlier than Preki, though. That was in '73. And at that time, very young player. He played all around, came back to the States, even played for the San Jose Earthquakes in 1981. Well, we're about to get the kickoff here. A little late start here tonight in Sacramento. Not under the stars quite yet, as the sun just setting behind us here, but final thought before we get this going, Kevin. Finally back to be home about 16 days, and here we are underway, and your key to the game.
Key to the game right now is I want to see how the back four is going to compete again. This is such a vital spot for this club to move into the playoff picture, and how these guys in the back are going to play together. The big thing, obviously, big question mark being Chad Bond.
And there's Arno, there's Bone, who just checked in, but Chad Bond, you know.
Excuse me, Chad Bartlome filling out that left back spot like we talked about in the pre-show.
And here's a quick move into the box. Daly has to make a save, but coming up, playing it well was Campbell, but there you see him moved up. It looks like it's going to be Bone, Corbin Bone, who was just picked up by Wilmington a week ago, is now getting up in that that attacking midfielder position.
Yeah, so the keys of the game, once again, Bartlome, how Bartlome is going to perform tonight defensively first. I want to see him think defensively first, which is tough. And also, Tommy Stewart playing up top, firing on all cylinders, scoring goals right now as Tommy clears the ball there. But I want to see how Tommy can perform, maybe get himself in some great positions again. And when he has that chance, see how quickly he can take it. And if he does take it, put it in the back of the net if he can.
So Tommy Stewart, as we said, 10 goals on the year, a hat trick in the Republic's 6-1 win over Orange County, and it almost seemed like a home match for the Republic. So many of the battalion bridge members came down for that match, and just what a great showing from the supporter group here from Sacramento. And I know as a player, Kevin, that's got to be exciting when you have that energy right behind you on an away game. I mean, that doesn't really happen.
No, it typically does not happen, and to have that, it's got to be a little boost to these guys, a little extra win in their sails when it's a tough spot in the game, to know that these guys are traveling and, you know, spending their dough, their own money, going down to these games. Is, you know, it's got to mean something to these guys on the Republic. So a great supporting group here with the Tower Bridge Battalion, and I think, guys, they should really feel privileged and special to have these guys supporting them.
Well, they've got the flags blowing. They were here bright and early, just as always. They seem to be ready for these matches hours before they even start, even during the middle of the week. Here we are on a Wednesday night. And again, 73 degrees here tonight. Not much of a breeze, shouldn't be too much of a factor. We really saw that wind whipping earlier in the season, and it really had an impact on maybe how Sacramento was able to clear their ball, because they like to send it really squared every once in a while, but really a different pitch here, different feel. The wind really doesn't seem to be a factor anymore.
Yeah, not tonight at least. To see with the Delta breeze, here's a shot on goal outside of the foot. Trying to make something out of nothing there as Jacobek sees, I think, sail over the top of the crossbar.
And it's that front there. You see Bone and Arno coming up, putting that pressure on. And Vukovic earlier in the season played that left back position, was able to bring himself up. Chad Bartlome now in that role. So we've picked up a few new players. We'll talk about that here in a second, Kevin. But you like how you have maybe a veteran out there. You've got Vukovic and Chad Bartlome. And even though Bartlome, you know, he's not a guy who's played a defensive role most of his career. He's really been up front, but you got to like his experience and knowing just the understanding the game all around.
Yeah, you got a veteran guy in the back who knows the game, knows how it's played, knows how to competed at all levels, all over the world. Having that sort of experience is absolutely valuable and should not be, you know, looked over, as Preki recognized that. I think that's one of the reasons why
Rodrigo goes down hard from the.
But that's one of the reasons why I think Bartlome is, you know, seeing minutes at left back. It's one of those things that I think Preki, which is one of his skills, he picks up on something that Bartlome has as a left side or left-footed player, and is able to say, you know, try him at left back, see how it goes. And you know, it's worked pretty well so far. So I think, you know, credit to Preki for kind of seeing something out of nothing there and allowing Bartlome the chance to flourish out on the left side.
Sacramento's been on a pretty strong run so far. They just sit 4 points back of Richmond, 7 from Orlando City. Now, those two teams will meet in 2 weeks now, and that's going to be pretty matches because they play twice now. And I don't know if you're looking for a home win, you might be rooting for Orlando here just because it might give you an opportunity to sneak up on Richmond and earn that second seed. Right now, Sacramento is in third, win tonight, and you guarantee that home match, but that second seed could go a long way. As we know, Republic have played so well here at Bonnie Field.
Yeah, home field is huge in soccer. So, you know, and the big thing right now, if I'm Preki, what I'm telling my guys is just go out, play your game, get some points. Whatever happens on the other side of the country happens. And wherever the chips fall when it's said and done, that's what it's going to be. But hopefully you can go on and keep performing well and build on the momentum that you have right now and keep performing and competing. And hopefully as you go into these playoffs, you have some good momentum built up.
There's Bartlome, try to skirt it into the box and set back away. There'll be a throw in here from Chad. About the deep as the Republic have been tonight, we've seen them come out really aggressive. Seems like they're trying to pick their spots a little bit. I don't know if this formation having something to do with it, but Wilmington being very aggressive.
Yeah, interesting too with these guys not seeing each other yet this season. This is the first matchup, so they're kind of maybe a little feel-out stage, seeing what each team's all about. Some players might know each other from previous games or previous teams they've been with, but more so right now, it's kind of just feeling out the opposition and seeing where the gaps and holes are going to be. Great ball over the top.
Over the top, Roro tracking, looking for an offside. Won't come. It was Max Alvarez who was.
It's a great run by Alvarez, kind of sneaking in from the right side on the back shoulder of Wilmington's center halves there. So good run, good idea by Vukovic, just the execution on the ball wasn't there.
Now when you say trying to feel each other out, for a lot of those hardcore soccer fans, what does that mean? What are they looking for when they say feeling it out?
Well, you know, you're going to have an individual matchup where on the field, whether you're a left back or a forward, and it's kind of maybe feeling out if you're a forward, you're feeling out the center half, center backs, seeing how physical they're going to be, maybe where they're not stepping, where they are stepping, and see if you can kind of maybe take advantage of that. If they are aggressive, you know, maybe you take a couple steps back, like you're checking for the ball and spin out for one over the top. Little things like that, but the first 10, 15 minutes of a game like this, these guys are just going to kind of maybe feel each other out. When they do get a chance, they're obviously going to take it, but more so just kind of, you know, exploring gaps and holes right now, really.
Stuver picks it up, finds Ackley in the midfield, and now Wilmington trying to find a little bit of gap. So here now comes Republic. They're pressing up again. They're sending Tommy Stewart into the box, and Stewart's going to have to get it away. It looks like that might just sail out of the play. A little header by Bartlome trying to keep it in, and it'll go back to the Light Blues. So as we move along here this evening, we saw how well this Republic team played against Orange County. 6-1. We told us about Tommy Stewart with those 3 goals in there, but Vukovic, Daly, and John also scored in that. And you had Alvarez with 2 assists in that game, and they clinched a playoff berth with that victory. And just an exciting match to come down, and it was 1-1 at half. So there was still a close game at that point in time. Sacramento scored first on a Vukovic goal. And what I loved about Vukovic, who's coming off from a Player of the Week time, and here's Campbell into the box, winds up, and finding a shot on goal, and it sails out. And Jakubuk there as Ruggles comes together. But Vukovic, as he scored that goal, ripped off the top there, and underneath he had a tank top, and it said happy birthday to his little girl. And you got to love those kind of moments. And I guess he figured he was going to score, and he did it on his daughter's birthday.
Absolutely. He'd probably getting some grief in the locker room if he didn't score, if a guy saw him with a shirt on with some writing on it. But good for him. Scored a goal, you know, for the daughter there. So it's good to see him. Vukovic, the goal, the finish was classic, dude. Just absolutely, ball just bounced right to his left foot, a stronger foot, put his laces through the back of the ball in the back of the net. But once again, you know, we talk about going in that second half, 1-1, and then coming out and scoring 5 more goals. I think that's great to see for Republic, to know that they're fighting on the road, continuing to fight, and that's how you build momentum really in these sort of games. So real happy to see the team perform like they did and continue to put those goals in and continue to fight.
Great display of passing right there from Bartlome to Guzman to Braun. Now Braun out to the right wing. Clementa will set it up. Dobs back off to Braun. Braun will pause and wait. Max Alvarez is towards the center, makes a nice move into the 6 as he gets near it, and just outside and sent it away. Now back come the other way. Here's Bone and company. Sacramento starting to push up a little bit, trying to find those weaknesses you just talked about, Kevin. Tommy Stewart's been flying all over the field, and we've seen him coming as a reserve role a little bit too, and he's had an impact when he comes late in the second.
Yeah, he's really great. Guzman, good step here. See what he does. He finds the ball. Continue his run.
Here's Stewart outside, and now the whistle blows.
It's like Tommy might have been offsides there.
So I think they got away with a handball moments ago. So the Wilmington
great step by Guzman there. Sees the defender back, facing his own goal, back to the front, creeps up on him, and able to pick that ball off clean. It might have been a handball, but here he is again making another strong tackle in there.
And another steal. Here he is, Rodrigo Lopez now in the middle. Waiting Lopez on the season with 8 assists, 7 goals, 21 games. He has been a star here at home. Here's Max Alvarez, who's played well. His assist total picking up, and now getting physical out of the corner. trying to concede a corner. They're trying to get it. I don't think able to do it. Nice play by Alvarez. Make them make the play. Shuffling his feet here on the outside is Bone.
Yeah, good job by the Hammerheads for getting out of trouble right there. Could have easily been a corner kick or a throw in deep in their own half. Able to kind of work the ball away, a little bit out of trouble there.
So the Hammerheads looking to bounce back. They fell 1-0 to the New York Red Bulls reserve team. And their last win now was a 1-0 victory. And over the top they go as Vukovic is here. And that was on July 19th. Now pressing forward.
Yeah, a long break for them. But you know what? You know, if you look at they got a couple games in hand. But a huge, huge game for them tonight to get off on the right foot for this road trip. And for them to compete for that, you know, 8th, 7th spot in the playoff picture, this is a great opportunity for them to take that next step into those higher point totals to try to really cement themselves in the running, in competition to get a playoff berth here. But just a huge opportunity, and they have a lot to play for tonight. Likewise with the Republic, with the potential of clinching and getting that home field advantage. Braun just offside there.
But you're right, they have 8 games still. Now they're going to be 3 of them right here in California. They're going to host the Republic again in a couple of weeks, so there's still a chance, but they're playing some pretty good squads, and that's going to be tough. But if you want to be part of the top 8, you got to beat a few of them.
And you got to go win on the road, too. So here's a perfect opportunity for them to come out on this road trip with 3 games in 5 days. Granted, that's a tough, tough task. But you know what? There's 9 points on the table for you in 5 days. So if you want to get yourself up the ladder a little bit, this is a perfect, perfect opportunity. And I tell you what, it's not an easy task on how you're going to shuffle this lineup for the next 5-6 days with these 3 games.
Now here's Stuver, and Stuver, a 2013 second-round draft pick. Played with Columbus Crew, but did not make an appearance. Comes at 6'3", 180, but he's going to be tested tonight. You can probably already sense that as Republic have kept it on the Hammerhead half here, and they've been working in that final third. They've done a pretty nice job so far, Kevin, of really thwarting any Republic attack. There has not been a good shot on goal by the Republic yet.
Yeah, so far they're doing a good job of managing what's going on, managing the front 2 with Braun and Stewart.
Lopez can't handle it. It'll sail out. And so it'll be Tom Parrott to throw in, the Scottish national. But he grew up in Iowa City. So very familiar. Poking it up over the top, and the Hammerheads don't seem to be so much on sync here on the offensive half. Gonna pick it up. Republic getting a little cute fancy-wise. And there's Merkovich. So Merkovich, who is typically a guy you got to watch out for, is typically on caution. He's free and clear tonight, but Mickey Daly is not. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on him and how aggressive he will be. Republic don't play for a week. Here is a cross. Djokovic lets it sail. Clementa sends it away. It'll be a throw-in for the Hammerheads. The Republic have not lost a game in their last 9 contests here at home. They drew with Orlando, but Sacramento has not posted an L on their record since a 2-1 loss in Virginia to Richmond. Richmond playing very well, sits in 2nd place, gets behind Clementa. That was Ruggles.
Yeah, a little shakiness out of the back 4 right now. It looks like they're not really working as a unit rather than 4 individuals. You want to see these guys step in, cover in, all as one unit, but looks like there's some gaps and some holes right there in the Republic's back 4. So need to kind of lock that down and really solidify this up themselves and start talking and communicating.
Passings look pretty good tonight. A couple of quick touches from each of the player, not keeping it too long, not dribbling further than they have to.
You see Bartlome already playing as high as he possibly can.
Braun's in the middle, little dump off, not there. Looking for the counters, the Hammerheads, but stepping right into it. And there might be a card here as on the ground. It appears it might be Ackley. No, it's Arno, excuse me, the striker.
Not a bad foul, really slows things down. That could have been a counterattack, but look, Mirkovic is already kind of politicking with the center ref here, which is not good. We're 13 minutes into this match.
I love Vukovic there too. Headed by Daly. Here's Alvarez. Keeps the volley alive. Now Braun. Braun working that touch line. Trying to skirt it into Tommy Stewart. Tommy Stewart! Goal! Sacramento!
There you go. There's Tommy Stewart finding an inch, taking a mile. Great run by Justin Braun there, getting some separation. Good ball into Tommy Stewart. Gets there just before goalkeeper gets out. Tommy Stewart able to get his toe on the ball, puts it in the back of the net. We talked about at the beginning of the game, too. If Tommy Stewart gets a chance, can he take it? And there's a perfect example. The guy's on fire right now. Whatever he's touching's turned into gold.
You know what? They don't always be the hardest kicks. Sometimes you just need to tap it in, and that's exactly what Tommy Stewart did. Give credit to Justin Braun, though. Will get the assist there as he worked that touchline very well, kept it on the floor, was able to find Tommy Stewart into the net. Sacramento strikes first, and they continue to roll. That one coming in the 15th minute here at home.
Yeah, kind of against the run of play there a little bit. And I tell you what, Justin Braun does a phenomenal job out on the right flank. Beats his man, gets in front of him, and plays a great ball into Tommy Stewart. And I can't give Tommy Stewart enough credit there. That's a tough finish because, you know, goalkeepers, here he is again.
And out comes Stuver. Stuver makes a smart play and sends it out of the stadium. Crowd likes it.
Yeah, I might have found the lazy river.
Out there at the old water park next door. A little bit less lights and flash to deal with here as no longer the state fair has gone away. So the midway next door is not available, but that was quite a fun few weeks here at Bonnie Field. The Republic back on the attack. Into the middle, Mirkovic settling things down. Here's Vukovic.
And you know, Rob, you might see a little change of momentum now. I bet you it's tough for the Hammerheads to come out. I think they played well for the first 15 minutes, and what do they have to show for it? They got a goal down, and they've got a big hill to climb right now.
A little aggressive, but that continues assault. And as you know, Kevin, as a center back, when you continue to get pressure, at some point it's going to break or it's going to crack a little bit, and that's exactly what the Republic seem to be doing in this match.
Yeah, you know, doing a good job trying to, you know, they're going down one avenue, getting blocked, going down another avenue, getting blocked. Found a seam. And once again, Tommy Stewart just makes great runs. I think that's just, you know, soccer IQ that Tommy has. One of those things that just you can tell the guy's been around the game for a long, long time.
He has 11 goals on the season now, team leader. Arno working it up. Here's Bone. Bone was showing some speed. On loan from Philly.
What's he doing? What's he doing slowing down? He's got to go there. Republic bailed out a little bit. Corbin Bone makes a great run, great outlet run, takes it towards Jakubek's goal, slows down. Like to see maybe him take another touch or two and try to hit that with his left foot on target, but fortunately for the Republic, decides to do otherwise and tries to look to, you know, be the playmaker.
He was just added on August 12th, and he originally from Plano, Texas, but you know,
now,
ACC Player of the Year at Wake Forest, and
yeah,
very good player, Philly Union.
Highly touted coming out of college. I think Chicago drafted him. Didn't see too many minutes there.
Only
ends up
18
going,
appearances at
ends up going to Philly, and needs to get minutes. So here he is, playing with the Hammerheads tonight. But you know, one of those kids that comes out of college, highly, highly touted. Hasn't necessarily clicked for him yet, but you know what? The guy's got the talent. You see the speed and pace right there, but maybe the decision-making is what's really lacking right now. Is what you want to see in those situations is that decisiveness, whether you're going to make the pass or take a shot, but do it with conviction, and I think you didn't really necessarily have that conviction going right there.
Braun in control. Quick touch from Lopez. Here's Max Alvarez. Alvarez playing very well. Loses it there. A little bit of a mix-up. Here's Vukovic, takes a gamble up on Arno. Arno to the clip, and on the touchline, last touch by Bartlome. Tried to argue for it, but cameras don't lie. We're on to the 19th minute here.
You know, in that situation too, Rob, Republic have to be careful. Vukovic and Daly, on that particular play, you had Clementa playing high and Bartlome playing high. So it was just a hard foul there.
And Alvarez goes down.
But really, you want to see one of your outside backs up and have three in the back at all times. You never want to have both outside backs playing as high as possible. You're leaving yourself out big time with Arno and maybe another one of the Hammerheads players playing up top. So you don't want to be 2-on-2. You always want to be one extra. So I think Vukovic and Daly, that's really their responsibility to kind of rein in Bartlome and Clementa and make sure they always have one of those outside backs tucked in and playing defensively first.
So coming up at halftime, Jake Gleason is our featured player of the game, even though Jake is not playing tonight. He is in the house tonight, just getting back. Played with the Portland Timbers as part of the Concave Club, and he was a part of that, so he will be our halftime. And interesting about Jake is that he'll tell you how he got into soccer. Very interesting story, maybe not your typical story, especially from one of his size and being from New Zealand. So stay at halftime for that. So even though Jake's not in the box tonight, Dominic Jakubek has been hanging out pretty well tonight. He hasn't seen too many balls, but Jake Gleason, stay tuned for halftime for that feature. And so a little bit slow to get up here is Max Alvarez. And I guess that gives it time to go to you out there who's tuning in this match night. And we'll go to the Twitter machine. And Kevin, what do you got? You got a question from a fan here.
So we got Tyler Isaac asking, how did Coach Preki get us to the playoffs in our debut season? What's the secret? And I tell you what, I really don't think there's a secret to it. And I think the answer is hard work. And that's something that Preki's been known for through his entire career. He's been a guy that's been known to work hard. And he's instilled that in this team here, I think, this year. And, you know, it's one of those things. It's day in and day out. You're drilling these guys, same few drills over and over and over again. That repetition really established a good, solid base. And I think Preki, that's one thing that he's known for, is that sort of coaching style, and it's worked wonders. With these guys playing, you know, 4 months together, 5 months together, and for them to be clicking as well and gelling as well as they are right now, we've said it before, but that's credit to Preki and his coaching style, and also his staff for really kind of backing them up in those situations and making sure that the guys are performing and working hard day in and day out in training. So, you know, in my mind, that's the answer. It's hard work, really.
And give a lot of credit to Graham Smith as well. They brought in some veteran guys along with Preki. Both of them will work together to say who can fill out this team. And I know that Rodrigo Lopez was the first signing, but I know that Nemanja Vukovic was high on their list from early on as well. So they wanted to make sure there was certain spots they were going to be very solid at. And I think they got those positions. You got a Justin Braun, and you add Tommy Stewart, and then look at this. Here's Stewart. Did he break it? Headed off there into the box. And last touch by the Hammerheads. So the Republic with a good throw and a set piece here. Bartolome looking to get it in quick. Finding Braun. Shields his man. And the whistle is blown. A foul.
That's right outside the box. Not sure exactly what happened, but, you know, we'll take it. And even before that, this play is all credit to Tommy Stewart for making that run, keeping the play alive. Ends up hitting off a Hammerheads defender for a throw, and here we are, a very, very dangerous set piece because of Tommy Stewart's work, though. So I love seeing that from a forward. Turning nothing into something is what we're seeing here.
It might be Ackley who is called for the foul there. Parrott right next to him.
And here we
as
go.
They build the wall. Vukovic comes up.
Roro's deadly right foot out here. This is a perfect situation. I love seeing this set up here.
A little bit closer, just on the edge for a free kick. Clementa in motion. Bartolome swings around the top. Daly, striker toward the middle. Here is a shot by Alvarez, and stopped by the Hammerheads. On the counter they go.
Yeah. Well done
Down
by
to his
Roro.
knees is Ackley.
Well done by Roro, getting back. And, you know, going back to that set piece, Rob, not my favorite choice there. We're in a very dangerous position right there. I'd love to see Roro just hit it as hard as he can, keep it, you know, keep it below the crossbar, and aim for the back post. Hopefully you'll get someone maybe crashing, puts their head on it, and best case scenario goes in the back of the net. But a play like that, that's a real difficult ball to hit hard and on target for Alvarez. Coming across your body, very easy to blow that thing over the crossbar. But I like to see Roro just hit that thing hard right across the face of the goal.
Well, we saw Orange County, the corner, bounce twice, and then there was Vukovic. So on the rebound, almost gives you a better chance. We're a little bit closer.
Right, same concept there. Guys are crashing the goal. Goalkeeper is going to be in a tough situation. Do I come out?
Braun goes down, whistle blown, and there's a foul and a good chance for Sacramento here. And Rodrigo Lopez is a little upset, wants something more than just a whistle. Parrott, the captain for the Hammerheads. He will not get a card. Here's Rodrigo Lopez, though. But we've seen Sacramento play a little bit better off these throw-ins, too. As the season's progressed, it seems they've been a little bit better at it.
Roro playing a quick one there to Clementa.
Clementa, a little bit of dance from far away. Here's Alvarez retreating. One-on-one with Ruggles. Gets past Campbell.
Earns a corner kick.
They'll take that for sure. So Jakubek on the season, only allowing 1.14 goals a game. Meanwhile, Jake Gleason right there at 1 as well. I mean, you have 2 goalkeepers who've been splitting a lot of time here, and they have been that good. So a quick corner here for Sacramento. And the Jacobek has touched the ball 3 times, I think, tonight. Guzman fighting away with Nicholson. Nicholson wins the strength battle. A little tug on the weak side for the Republic, and really a blown opportunity.
Right. Once again, I think poor decisions there on set pieces. We had the free kick a minute ago. Now we have the corner kick and trying to play it short. End up not even getting the ball in the box. My mind, you're given that free kick essentially on the corner. Put it in the box. Alvarez serves a great ball and was left-footed in-swinger, so just let him do it. Guzman, stay out of there. I don't know if that's something that Preki's wanting these guys to do, but in my book, I'd rather see him just keep make it simple, serve it in the box, get your big guys crashing the net, and see what happens.
Floats it down the touchline. Won't be in play. The Republic will take back over. Sacramento, that was their 43rd goal on the year. They've only allowed 25 against. Now, Kevin, it was about a month ago or so. That number was a lot closer together. It is very interesting to see how much space they've created, goals for versus goals against. I mean, in this time period right now, they've scored 16 goals, allowed 3 in the last 5 matches. That is a sensational play. Yeah, they're playing
Really well right now. It's almost a little concerning for me, a little, Rob, too, because you want that sort of numbers as your playoffs are starting in any sports, you know, basketball, baseball, football. You want to be peaking right as playoffs are starting or right before when playoffs are starting. So hopefully they can continue this momentum, maybe even get better. And that's Preki's job now, is how do we keep getting these guys playing better, being more solid. Tough task. And, you know, that's the magic potion and the magic word is momentum here. And how do you create it? Very difficult to create, but right now we got some good momentum, and I'd love to see Preki continue on that and get the guys to keep playing. That's actually a pretty good tackle in my mind.
So Gottleman tried to find Parrott. Merkovich goes down, and with that goal for Sacramento, now the Hammerheads have given up 25 but only scored 23. It's been a problem for them. They've got to find a little new recipe if they want to work their way into that final 8 here this season. And when Sacramento is good, they've been good, not only scoring at home but on the road as well. Very balanced between the goals for each side. So they've been able to put it all together, and whether it's Jacobek or Gleason in that box, you got to feel pretty good and give a lot of credit to that back 4, and especially Daly Clementa and Vukovic, who have been there for most of the season now.
Yeah, you know, Jacobek's been great. He's had some unbelievable saves this year. I would love to see his highlight reel. I think he's had 2 or 3 just world-class saves. He's been playing really well, filling in for Gleason extremely nicely. And it's got to be such a relief for Preki and his staff to know that if Gleason goes down, that's a position that's you're solid in the second string. And always nice to have that sort of flexibility and that relief back there.
Here's Daly. Daly tested early by Arno, but Arno's gived up a little bit, and it has Bone. Bone showed some speed, but he gave up on that ball. A little surprising. Here's a great chance for Sacramento. Tracking down, great save and slide tackle by Campbell. And so it comes all the way up as Campbell, Andre from Jamaica, player of the national team, played in Norway last season, back here with the Hammerheads in North Carolina. Here's Braun. Quick tap back. Braun with an assist tonight, goal to Tommy Stewart, who has 11 on the year. Here's Tommy again. Looking for a teammate, looking for Braun. There was Rodrigo as well. Whipped it all together was Guzman, and back they come. Now, here comes Stewart. Stewart pausing, stepping up into the lane. Dropping over, here's Bartolome. Bartolome, a little quick tap. Rodrigo Lopez, and it will sail out on the end line. Last touch by the Republic.
Yeah, it looked like it came off Roro. As he served it in, deflected off him, out for a goal kick. But good run by Bartlett. Good decision. I like seeing Roro. I'd love to see Roro cut that back to his right foot. But you know what? Good play, good switch. Got Guzman winning second balls in there, playing it out wide.
Tower Bridge Battalion. Loud as always down on the north end of the field here. And again, they have just been quite a group. They continue to be involved. They watch this team sometimes even travel. They've gone down to Arizona, to Los Angeles, Orange County. Quite fun already, just in such an early start. A little bit of handball by Parrott won't be called. And Merkovich trying to track it down. Mirkovic goes down. And Parrott, he's getting another warning. And there won't be a card yet. So trying to keep control. And a lot of the fans asking for a yellow card in front of us. They won't get it. But interesting in the Sacramento Bee this week, Kevin, I don't know if you read the article by Bill Patterson, but he did a nice job on these guys. And Vukovic, Preki, Mirkovic, and Clementa all have ties really to the Balkans and Yugoslavia and Serbia. And it's such an interesting, where here they've all gathered together and they all stick together. They say toughness. You know, they learn that growing up in harsh conditions. And Mirkovic said he grew up watching Preki, was just ecstatic to have Vukovic be playing with Nemanja Vukovic. He was so thrilled for a young guy.
Yeah, interesting seeing those guys, you know, grow up in that part of the world. And here, the great run by Tommy Stewart getting behind again. And here we are in Sacramento, a world away, and these guys are getting reunited together. And all of them playing really, really well. And I think maybe it might be that just the connection that they have together, knowing that also the Preki's that piece that really makes that work, I think. Having your head coach, you know, be from where you're from, in a faraway land, essentially. You got some sort of continuity together. And Preki's, like I said, that puzzle piece that really kind of brings everyone together. And these guys have played really, really well this year. I'd love to see Mirkovic try to stay on the field more and not get as many cautions. But beyond that, the guys that we've been talking about are all been big contributors to this team and have had, so far, a solid season. So, you know, once again, credit to Graham Smith for putting those guys together on this field today.
Mirkovic, 26 years old, and Vukovic is 30. And then you have Clementa, who's just 23, and a shot looking close in and on goal. A collision down near the 6.
Yeah, tough play there. Stuver comes out strong, punches it out. Justin Braun, I don't think there's no intent, no malice in that play, just trying to play the ball here. And it looks like Stuver comes out worse for the wear on that, with coming in to challenge with the big body of Braun.
And the Republic get a golden chance there, coming strong. Stuver took one pretty rough. And so Stuver getting the start here, played the Montreal Impact. And he's just his 3rd game with the Hammerheads this season. To slow things down here. Sacramento again in 3rd place, trying to work their way up into that final 2. A win here this evening would clinch a home playoff match. And if that's what you'd like to get into, it'd be wise to follow the Republic on Twitter or Facebook, as we'll tell you exactly how to get tickets. You can listen right here in the broadcast as well, as soon as we'll be able to announce that. But make sure you follow that. And a whistle is blown. It goes against the Hammerheads here.
Yeah, it looks like Roro got bailed out there. I don't know how much of a foul that was. Just a kind of a poor giveaway playing the ball back. But fortunately for us, for Republic, foul's called.
Well, Nike's a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. We thank all of our local sponsors as well. Here's Jakubek with a touch. You know, sometimes, Kevin, it just seems that your goalkeeper just needs to touch the ball every once in a while just to remind himself he's still in this game. I mean, Jakubek hasn't really had to make one save. There's really been partially a save on, or a shot on goal. And tough ball for Bartlome as it just skips off high at the turf. But you got to get your goalie involved a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, stay involved. It's tough for the keepers sometimes, and especially in a match like this. Even more difficult for these guys is, for goalkeepers in these situations, is there could very easily be a chance, a quick break, a quick counter, and Jakubek's got to be tuned in and ready to answer that attack, answer that shot, whatever it is. So, I mean, for goalkeepers, it's a tough world they live in. You know, not necessarily being a part of the game for the, you know, here we are in the 33rd minute, and they could get called upon at any moment. They got to answer it. Otherwise, it's, you know, balls in the back of the net, and you're the goat in the situation. So, you know, good to get him a touch, keep him going.
Davidson off to Campbell. Campbell playing with a right cast. Looks like he may have broken his thumb, and always a little bit tougher. He can almost use it as a little bit of a, I guess, a shield though. Sloppy of a throw in there, gets it to Bone though, and now here comes the Hammerheads. Losing it, they've just not been able to be in sync tonight. Trying to go 1-on-5, makes a move into the middle, punched away by Clementa.
Good job, like Clementa there, kind of, you know, shrinking the back 4 down, tucking in, able to get his foot and clear the ball. So good job by Clementa noticing that danger right there.
Barrett skirting it in. Clementa. Vukovic and bringing it back down from the side, and those are dangerous plays. And I imagine that's going to be a yellow card there. You just got to hope Rodrigo Lopez is not hurt. And more or less just being drugged from behind like that. And he may have been kicked in the shin, but more or less he fell backwards pretty hard.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been just studs on the back of his Achilles or on his heel maybe, but you know, that's definitely doesn't feel good. Hopefully he's going to get up and walk it off. That's something, you know, you're going full steam forward and all of a sudden someone's just raking their studs down the back of your leg. Definitely doesn't feel good. Looks like Roro's okay. He's walking it off.
Rodrigo's okay. He gets up. Whistle blown. And they cause a bit of time here, and there's reset, and here we go. Bartlome misplays it. Here goes Gottleman. Parrott. Back into Faircloth. Faircloth getting it up to Arno. Now Arno having trouble with Daly. Quick over to Clementa from Rodrigo Lopez. Getting it back on Clementa's side here. Alvarez in the middle.
Yeah, you see here too, Rob.
Good
we
ball.
got Roro and Alvarez have switched sides here, so here's Bartlome.
Bartlome goes right, goes left, into the middle! Tap, saved by Stuver. Onto the end line, a beautiful save by Stuver.
Great save by Stuver, but I tell you what, that needs to be a penalty right there. Roro absolutely got hammered from behind.
And it looked like it would be it'll be Ruggles, but Ruggles was not called for it.
Yeah, it looked like Tommy Stewart got his foot on the ball, deflected. Stuver makes a great save. Roro's on the ball, going away from goal. It might have been Campbell or Davidson that just hammered Roro. Should have been a penalty in my book. There's a little counterattack here.
Arno trying to use that momentum, and a hard tackle. Down they go again. It's getting physical here tonight at Cal Expo. And now Vukovic is in the middle, and he's having a few words with the Hammerheads. And the referee, Alex Margon Wilsey, sends him away. And there is now a yellow card being thrown. Is that against Roro or Braun?
Looks like Roro.
Justin Braun having a conversation, the captain for the Republic tonight.
Yeah, asking for an explanation. Looks like it was a caution on Roro there.
A little frustration by the Hammerheads, but as well from Sacramento, and it's about as deep as we've seen the Hammerheads in quite some time. They've had a few plays getting near the box, but have not been able to make a strong play. They've got a set piece here. Chance by Ruggles. Ruggles sends it high. Good cross, a header. Going back up. Here's Gottleman. Now there is Stewart.
Good clearance by Stewart, keeping the ball in bounds, letting everyone clear their lines. Good work.
Sacramento couldn't catch a break there as Rodrigo Lopez goes down. Then they set it back up, getting behind the defense. Bartlome lets his man get it behind him, Gottleman, but Vukovic there, and Bartlome able to get a heel on it. Stewart pausing. And it looks like we may have Tomaselli checking in for the Hammerheads as soon as we get a break here. Sacramento working. Rodrigo Lopez trying to find Stewart. Second chance punched away by Davidson.
It's a good ball. Good effort by Roro.
Roro still fighting for it. Back up off the ball. No whistles blown. Sacramento still in the attack. Bartlome, Mirkovic. Just couldn't find a teammate. Back come up Daly. Daly's trying to push it forward. Here's Tommy Stewart. Justin Braun onside. Braun makes a move toward the middle. Trying to find a streaky teammate. Mirkovic can't handle it.
Braun not sure exactly what he wants to do on that ball. kind of on his weaker left foot, but still would have liked to see him take on the defender one-on-one, make a move and try to get a shot on target there. Opts to try to play the ball across the face, and Mirkovic takes just a heavy touch there on top of the box.
So here comes Ross Tomaselli, who's just added for the Hammerheads. Tomaselli signed for the remainder of the year from Toronto FC. Midfielder played at Wake Forest. So several North Carolina college alums here on this Hammerhead squad.
Interesting sub in that situation there. Looks like Porter might not have been happy with Campbell's play so far.
Campbell comes out, Tomaselli in at center back. Republic still pressing here. They lead by a goal. Tommy Stewart scoring in the 15th minute, an assist by Justin Braun. Alongside Kevin Goldthwait and Rob McAllister, we appreciate you joining us here tonight for another Sacramento Republic match. A strong shot on goal. On the rebound, Braun was up there, Stuver able to send it, but we've seen that time and time again from the Republic.
Yeah, Alvarez on his left foot, not afraid to pull the trigger. And I think we're also realizing now, if I'm Braun and Stewart, whenever Alvarez is taking a shot from that deep, Alvarez puts some funky spin on the ball, so the goalkeepers are typically having a hard time corralling it and catching it. They got to make sure that they're crashing the goal hard. As soon as Alvarez is winding up with the left foot, if I'm Braun and Stewart, I'm just crashing the goal as hard as I can, hoping for a rebound and trying to put it in.
Or 41st minute, I should say, here at Bonnie Field. Beautiful night. Low 70s here. No humidity. Slight breeze picking up. Whiff completely was Clementa. Clementa and Bartolome have been very aggressive tonight, leaving Daly and Vukovic back, but they haven't been tested. Mirkovic in the middle of the park. Roro setting it up. Here's Daly. And Daly's going to have to send it back to Jakubek. Dangerous ball there by Jakubek, as easily stood up. Could have been Bone. Bone lightning quick.
Yeah, Jakubek sometimes a little too casual in the back for my liking as a goalkeeper.
Bartolome on the edge, comes back toward the middle. Roro centering it, looking for Alvarez. Alvarez fighting.
Hammerheads are playing a real high line right now.
There's Ruggles.
So in that situation, that's a good opportunity to just dink the ball right over the top of the back four, and there's going to be a lot of runners coming through there. I think typically you really want to see those guys, your back four, and there's a bad touch here.
Tommy Stewart trying to get back to that end line. Looks like we'll have a corner from Sacramento here, so good chance for Max Alvarez, who has 5 assists on the season, as Alvarez has moved quite up, and then we had Roro out. We had a good chance for Max Alvarez to step in and take his place. And in just 1 minute, we'll take another question from you listening at home on Twitter.
So here's Brad Hill asking, how do you decide to use an in-swinger versus an out-swinger on these corner kicks? And typically, it's just your preference on what kind of runs you have.
Alvarez with a cross.
Me personally, as a player and as a defender, much harder to deal with in-swingers, especially when you got a guy like Alvarez and Roro who drive a hard ball into the box. If you got someone that can do that, you want to have those in-swingers, so it's just easy for your attackers, the guys in the box to really just redirect the header on target. But if you got a guy, a more delicate ball being served in, maybe you want an out-swinger so guys can crash the ball and meet that with momentum as it's swinging out and you're coming in to meet the ball and trying to put it on target. But I guess at the end of the day, it really depends on what kind of service you got being played in the box. And with Alvarez and Roro, I love seeing the in-swingers because how hard they hit the ball.
Any kind of symbol or sign, I guess I would say, really from maybe Alvarez or Roro to his teammates, tell them what they might expect?
Yeah, well, I mean, just simply by having Alvarez out there on the right side and being left-footed, you know it's going to be an in-swinger. And likewise with Roro on the opposite side, with a right foot coming in, you know it's going to be in-swinger as well. But you will see Roro kind of take balls from the outside, on the opposite side as well, to serve that out-swinger type of ball. But, you know, for me personally, it's real difficult to deal with those in-swingers sometimes if you got guys that can serve it right over that front defender and drop it kind of right in the middle of the penalty area.
2 extra minutes added to the clock here, which is pretty good because we've seen that a couple of stoppages here, whether it be fouls or injuries, but not too high. So a couple more minutes here in the half where Sacramento leads by a goal. Tommy Stewart from Justin Braun. And it was just a light tap from Tommy Stewart, nothing spectacular, but a great pass and assist from Justin Braun. Here's Tommy Stewart trying to repay Braun. Braun had to get back before he was offside. It's Faircloth, the only defender back. They're getting a little bit of trouble, that Kevin, as you see the Republic pushing them over top. They could get Tommy Stewart in the lane again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good run by Braun there. But you know what really makes it happen is Stewart picking up the second ball, kind of realizing that the ball isn't necessarily played far enough for him to make that run, and holding back, picking up that second ball, trying to find Braun through. Braun, unfortunately, was just a little bit offside, so he had to hold his run.
Hammerheads trying to find a new recipe, Kevin. They've not been able to really get in sync here. They've only had a couple of chances to even get a shot on goal, and even then it's been hard for them.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing, it's only 1-0 right now. One quick ball, whatever it's going to take, they're back in the game, and it's going to a completely different sort of match right now. But you saw after that first goal, I think the momentum did shift a little bit. I thought the Hammerheads had the majority of the play the first 15 minutes until the Republic scored. And since then, it's been pretty much all Republic.
Over the top from Merkovich, settling it down. Bad ball by Braun.
It's a counterattack ball right there.
Pushing it forward was Bone. Almost see Bone just take it for a little bit. Back here comes Nicholson. On the right side is Parrott. Parrott traps it down. Bartlome comes up, makes a nice stop. Just the physicality of Guzman and Bartlome coming up is a good pairing that we've seen a little bit more of. We've seen almost that Guzman will track on the other side of the field. Merkovich. Wind picking up a little bit here tonight at Bonnie Field. Sacramento almost in a pause mode, maybe trying to kill the clock here for the next 30 seconds. Not give the Hammerheads anything to work with. Up comes Vukovic, keep it on the deck. Little dump off, nice play by Roro. Now comes the Republic. To the strong side for Clementa, winds up, sends it toward the box. Sliding Braun, another chance, it's still out there. Bartlome coming up, but it's cleared by the Hammerheads. And that is time. Great chance for the Republic there in the final moment, Kevin. Maybe an offside first?
Yeah, Arno came in from an offside position there, but you know what? As a defender myself, that makes me real nervous. We're flying forward here with about 10 seconds to go. Bartlome and once again Clementa are up high. And fortunately for us, Arno was slow and maybe a little lazy getting back, but it was 2-on-2 in the back. A perfect opportunity for Hammerheads to counter with 1 minute to go. So in those situations, it's got to be Vukovic or Daly making sure that their outside backs are staying tucked in. Like I said, as a defender, that makes me nervous. That's what I'm looking at the whole time we're flying forward.
It worked out. They had a good chance at another shot on goal. Did not get it. Great play by Stuver and his back forward to spare another shot there. And Sacramento will go into the break here, leading by a goal. It was Tommy Stewart in the 15th minute, assist by Justin Braun. And we'll step aside here. We're going to have a feature on Jake Gleason. Learn a little bit about how he ended up playing soccer and how he ended up right here in Northern California. You also hear from Roro and Graham Smith as well. A great picture and production, I should say, by Franklin Productions. So tune in for that. It's coming up here. It's a Sacramento 1, the Hammerheads nothing.
I'm Jake Gleason, and I play goalkeeper. So I was born in Palmerston, Northern New Zealand. Obviously not the hotbed of soccer for the world. Growing up, I was like, I want to be a professional cricket player. And I had no doubt that that's what I wanted to do and that's what I was going to do. But then one faithful day, I was actually at my best friend's house. And asked if I wanted just to come to the trial the next morning just to sit on the sideline. My dad would pick me up from there. So I went along and was playing with a rugby ball on the sideline, and they were one player short. And they were like, do you just want to jump in goal and make up some numbers? So I jumped in and just threw myself about and kind of made a decent impression, I guess. I was a pretty crazy little kid, and about 3 weeks later, their starting goalie dislocated his knee and asked if they wanted to play, and I was like, sure, I'll give it a whirl. And I always took soccer just for fun. Never thought I was going to make anything of myself. But when I turned 16, I would say that my goalie coach, Mark Oates, he pulled me aside one day and said, you know, I want you to start trying. I want you to come and work with me because, you know, I think you can do this. I think this is something you can do. And I was like, you know, if you really believe me, I'll work as hard as you want me to work, and we'll see where it goes. And 2 years later, I'm playing in the Under-17 World Cup, and 2.5 years later, I'm trying at Manchester United. So he really changed my perception of what I could do. And, you know, I definitely wouldn't be here without him. And then I got a call from a guy called Nate Winkle, who's helping me out trying to get to a college in America. And he was like, do you want to go and train and trial with Portland Timbers? And he was like, they're going to be moving to MLS next year. They're a USL club. They want you to go play for the youth
Success
team
is not a destination.
You know, basically go on a year-long trial and see how it goes. I was like,
a journey that starts with a single
it's a great
step.
opportunity. So I went over.
But it's not a small step.
Basically just saw, yes, it's going to be like a year-long holiday, play a bit of football, experience the country, have a good time, and then, you know, hopefully I could get something out of it. But, you know, to become a professional it's not an easy task. No, I love Sacramento. Midtown's a great place. The weather's fantastic. The people are really nice. You know, it definitely blew my expectations, which I was very, very happy about. And for me, I mean, the highlight this year has got to be the home opener. You know, walking out there at a huge stadium, you know, the battalion was in full force. You know, the crowd was unbelievable. The air was filled with electricity. It was, you know, it was just a special, special night. And it was the start of something real, something very, very exciting.
Jake Gleason, gentle giant, wonderful size, colossus of a man.
He's really moody when he wakes up. Really moody. Don't ever catch him when he wakes up, but other than that, he's phenomenal. Great person.
He gives assurance to the defense. He's very, very calm. Which is a good quality in goalkeeping.
There's just something interesting about that goalie position. It's just fact in the soccer world. It's just goalies have something else that a midfielder might not have.
You know, people keep telling me that, and you know, I can see why. You know, people kick balls at us from, you know, every angle, from every distance, and they think we're crazy. Like, this is how I see it. We stand there for 90 minutes and have the ball come to us. Outfield players spent 90 minutes chasing a ball. I mean, who's crazier, us or them? I don't want to run around for 90 minutes. I guarantee you, coming in this year, no one would have thought that we would be where we are. And that's exciting. You know, that shows that they're the right people are in the right place here. What I saw in Portland in 2010 and what I see here is it's very, very similar. The buzz is there, the excitement's there, the drive from the owner is there, the end goal of what they want to achieve here is there. I mean, obviously the work over the next year is going to be huge, you know, from stadium to players to broadcasting to everything that is involved with Major League Soccer. It's a big step up, but I have no doubt in my mind that the city is more than capable of making that jump. And it's something that this town will definitely embrace. I have no doubt in my mind. And MLS needs Sacramento, and Sacramento needs Major League Soccer.
were led by player and head coach Ian Fraser. But this team's biggest impact comes from the legacy it left behind in the youth soccer community. For many of its players, including the ones you see today, retired in Sacramento and have gone on to coach their next generation of talent. Sacramento United, San Juan Soccer, River City United, Boca Soccer, American River College, Placer United, and our very own Republic FC are just a few of the programs that proudly feature former Knights players as coaches. Joining us tonight on the pitch are over 15 former Knights players presenting the nearly 90 players that have had the honor of representing one of the indoor soccer's best franchises. Please welcome, presenting each player with a plaque, President Warren Smith. Jeff Alcala. Super Mario Astorga. Sean Blankman. Mark Bickham. Brandon Cabot. Jarrell Elliott. Jorge Fernandez. Jeremy Field. Ian Fraser. Paul Hansen. Pat Harrington. Eric Harvey. Craig Huff. John Cuthbert. Diego Orellana. Antonio Sutton.
Well, Tommy Stewart got things going on an assist by Justin Braun in the 15th minute. The only goal of the game so far. Sacramento with a 1-0 advantage here. As we look at our stats, each team with 7 fouls, 2 corners for the Republic. But really the shots on goal, 4 versus 2, and really the 2 from the Hammerheads, not that strong for Dominic Jokvic, not being tested so far tonight, which is a very good thing. We've seen the back four be very aggressive once again this evening, but the great passing by the Republic out there again. What have you seen from the Republic in that first 45 that you really liked?
You know, not too much really happening up front. We have Tommy Stewart obviously getting the goal here. Something out of nothing almost with a great run, great run by Braun, and another even equally as great run by Stewart going forward, sliding past the goalie. So for the most part, I think they need to continue with this momentum going into the second half. Really need to work on making that back four as solid as possible. Don't give up any chances. With only 1 goal lead right now, you absolutely cannot get complacent in the back. You need to make sure that you defend from the back forward and still have everyone work as a unit rather than individuals kind of running throughout the pitch. So real important right now for Republic to make sure they're solid in the back, as anything can happen quickly, and it'll be a completely different game with it being 1-1.
Arno and Bone had a couple of chances for the Hammerheads. What do they need to do to try to get on the board tonight?
They need to be a little bit more cohesive going forward. You saw Bone kind of streak forward at one point in the match in the first half. I'd love for him to really love to see him be a little bit more, go forward with conviction. Looked like he wanted to go forward, then slowed down, looked to try to play the ball off. You know, as a player with Corbin Bone's ability, you want to see him have the ability to take everything on his own shoulders, get a shot off with his left foot, and really kind of be that player to take the responsibility on. And I really didn't see him do that. He's got the ability to do so. So I think Corbin Bone needs to step up in the second half and be that leader on the pitch and really try to drive this Hammerheads team forward.
Speaking of leaders, we had quite a few of them, 19 on the field there, part of the Sacramento Knights. That was the indoor team. I know growing up, we went to a few games, and I'd seen it was so long ago that they were here, but they played from 93 to 2001, and they were a handed the Sacramento Spirit Award by the Republic tonight. So congratulations to them, as it was a great night for them. As we continued on with going to those games as younger, what did you remember about the Knights matches?
You know, what I really remember is that those are the guys that laid the foundation for Sacramento soccer. Great players. You had, you know, Paul Hansen, you had Sean Michael Callahan, Sean Blakeman, and guys like that. I remember growing up, and those were my idols kind of as a soccer player. So really the most important thing, what I love seeing from those guys and love thinking about when I think about the Knights, is those guys laid the foundation for Sacramento soccer. Without those guys, we might not necessarily be where we are today with the Republic. But you know what? Great to see them get the Spirit Award out here tonight. Great to see how many alum that we do have back here, you know, supporting the team and just being a part of things. So it's just fantastic to see, and can't give those guys, the Knights players, enough done for Sacramento soccer.
And for those of you not in Sacramento, just the amount of love and support that we have seen for this Republic franchise in year one has simply been astounding. And you know, the Knights have been a part of building that foundation years ago here in this community. A lot of those kids, I know you were one of them, Kevin, grew up going to those games wanting to be a professional soccer player. And here we are again, another very strong wave. The Sacramento Republic, hopefully here to stay for a very, very long time. Kevin Goldthwait, alongside me, I'm Rob McAllister. We appreciate you tuning in here this evening. Sacramento playing pretty well outside the gate, tried to feel things out a little bit, and then they got things going. They were able to put up a goal and continue that, as they now put up 16 goals in the last 5 matches now, I should say, allowing only 3. And so as we move into the halftime, looks like we'll have no substitutions to start things off. We did have one during the match, and that was Ross Tomaselli coming in, and that replaced Andre Campbell. So we'll begin things off. It will be the Hammerheads to start it off. Arno up top again. He's being held back, held in check a little bit by this Republic team. The whistle blows, and here we go again. The Hammerheads during halftime. What is the head coach likely telling them as you look, as you're David Irving right now, what's he saying to his Hammerhead club?
You know, we've talked about at the beginning of the broadcast that these guys, the Hammerheads, need to come out here tonight and put in a good result and try to get some points. Points for them are absolutely vital if they want to make the playoffs. So they're not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. So if I'm the manager in the locker room at halftime, I'm telling them, listen, dust off the bumps and bruises right now. We got 45 more minutes to go out there and try to snatch a goal and hold Republic to nothing, and maybe even try to snatch 2 goals. But really, they need to come out here, maybe just be a little bit more decisive, make their passes a little bit more crisp. But you know what, like I said, no stretch of the imagination are they out of this game. This game is still 45 minutes to be played, and it is anyone's game at this point in time.
We'll throw and look for Tommy Stewart. Cleared. Merkovich playing up front. That middle position. Now here comes the counter. Working up front. Gottleman with a shot on goal. Hits his own player in the back. Likely an offside call.
It looked like it might have been Corbin Bowen. Corbin was making a great run, kind of flashing out, waiting for the ball. And at that point in time, by the time the shot was taken, he was already offside. So just bad timing, and I think that you can kind of chalk that up as these guys haven't played together for more than 7 to 10 days, and guys not knowing each other's tendencies. But it was a good run by Bone. Bone's got a lot of pace. I'm pretty surprised to see how quick the guy is.
And we really haven't seen him unleash it quite yet. Nicholson.
And, you know, and another thing, Hammerheads, if they're given it, you know, any sort of look on goal, you know, they need to take advantage of it and try to put something, test Jakubek.
Dangerous play here. Jakubek comes up. Yeah. Arno was right there.
And that'd be another thing that I'd be telling the players, on the Hammerhead players, is that, listen, you haven't tested Jakubek yet at all. Put something on target. Make sure Jakubek's up to the task tonight. Challenge him a little bit.
Stuver still in the box for the Hammerheads. Allowed the 1 goal. Playing is just his 3rd game. And he's averaging about 1.5 goals per contest. It's his 4th on the year. Swinging around Nicholson. And so we haven't really got to it either, Kevin, is that the Sacramento Republic, the roster is now frozen. And George Fochive, he's gone. Alvis Powell, he's gone back up in Portland. And Fochive is more of an injury, and so it doesn't look like he's likely going to play the rest of the season regardless of where he's at. So Alvis Powell now back up north. And then you lose Chad Bond. Did they let him go? He looks like he was going to be out for quite some time. So they had to make some decisions, and they go with 3 new guys. So, James Kiffey is one of them. He's a former Ventura County Fusion defender. Played 90 minutes against the Republic in an Open Cup match. Had a nice assist in that match as well. And that's one addition they make as Clementa works the end. or tries to trim, I should say. Poking it along, looking for Alvarez and Tommy Stewart. And he played at UC Santa Barbara, Big West Defender of the Year. And then Augustine Cazares, also a Ventura County Fusion player. And then Izzy Tinder. So he played on the Bosnia-Herzegovina national team. So you have 3 new faces here for the Republic. And it's going to be interesting to see how they work those guys in.
Yeah, you know, Fochive and Powell weren't necessarily getting too many minutes anyways, and I think that they, you know, it's okay for those guys to go. They weren't being main contributors to the team. Bond, I think, is unfortunate for his injury when he got it, and it looked like it was a mutual agreement between the two, the club and Bond, for him to be released. But you know what? It's a tough task for the new guys to come in and try to establish themselves and fight for some minutes. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think it doesn't hurt the Republic at all. Graham's got a great relationship with Ventura down south, so I'm sure he's got some inside scoop on these guys and can't wait to see what they can do when they do get some minutes.
Well, Izzy Tinder, just 19 years old, just celebrated his birthday when he got the news, so a great birthday gift for Izzy. And so congratulations, and I guess welcome to the team, young man. And, you know, Kiffy as well, and even though, you know, it's Cal Poly, Santa Barbara is a big-time rival, I think we'll allow him on the squad.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Yeah. I think Dakota Collins and him are going to go back and forth between that Big West rivalry. Setting things up here on the field is Ruggles, as we remain a goal contest here between the two squads. Hammerheads Republic facing off deep into the season. And for the Hammerheads, they've got 8 more games, so they've plenty more contests to try to work their way back in to the playoff picture. They're sitting a few points out of it right now, currently in 12th place, 6, 6, and 8 on the year. Meanwhile, the Republic playing very well, 14, 6, and 3. Alvarez toward the middle. Nice move. Guzman playing with it.
Good job by Guzman. Find that other side of the field. Right side's a bit clogged, spread it out. I like seeing that side to side, having the ability to look over your shoulder.
Tommy Stewart being bothered by Ackley. Lopez with some nice moves tonight, but Lopez got to keep his head up a little bit. Working that spacing. Here's Braun. Braun's got nobody, 1 on 4. Clementa comes up. Clementa wins the battle. Clementa getting past Mirkovic, and a whistle is blown.
Not sure if that's a foul, but you know what, Mirkovic, that's his job in that situation. Slow the play down, take that foul. But once again, you have Clementa and Bartlemy both playing high. Daly and Vukovic, if they don't get if that doesn't get taken advantage of, it's going to be a lucky night for those two guys, because that's their responsibility. They got to make sure that they have 3 in the back at all times.
Tomaselli almost playing the attacking midfielder position. He is checked in. He walked on as a trialist from Wake Forest, ended up making the team. Here's Alvarez. Alvarez fighting Stewart. Stewart from the backside. Stewart comes up. The Hammerheads go down, but Tommy Stewart had a good look, and it's Parrott who's on the ground.
Good ball by Alvarez there. Looks like Tommy Stewart didn't see the trouble over his back shoulder, tries to take maybe 1 too many touches and slows down. Parrott comes in, takes the ball. Worse for the wear for doing so, but you know, it does a good play, comes in and stops that play. Tommy Stewart getting a shot off.
Tommy Stewart asking the referee maybe why there wouldn't be a penalty called. I don't think he's going to get it. Wasn't hard enough. Stewart also slowing down. I think he continues forward. Things might be a little bit different.
This looks like a shoulder or a collarbone on Parrott.
The Hammerhead, busy week. Today's match starts a stretch of 3 matches in 5 days. They'll travel down south, take on Orange County, and then the LA Galaxy too. Friday and Saturday matches. And that's a tough task on the desk. And Wilmington last played on August 15th and falling to the Red Bulls. That was 1-0 loss against the reserves. So a tough loss there, as they really want to look at a teammate.
Yeah, there's Tommy Stewart there. Looks like Parrott makes a good play, comes in, tries to poke the ball away, does a good job at it. Like I said, looks like he fell on his left arm a little awkwardly, either a shoulder or a collarbone. See if he comes back in. Got a couple guys warming up on Hammerhead's bench. Looks like Ochoa's getting his shin guards on right now as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes in and what he can do to this influence this game tonight.
Definitely change the dynamic for the Hammerheads if he is able to get into this match here tonight. Sacramento, the only goal from Tommy Stewart, the 15th minute, an assist by Braun. Ruggles, the left back position. Daly.
Good job by Daly there. Knowing where the trouble is, flicks it on to Jakubek.
Daly. Played at Wilmington last year. 22 matches, a goal and 3 assists, 2013. So playing against former squad. There's always a little bit of, I want to show you what I have and what I can do. As you know that, Kevin, as you've probably moved on different teams in your time in the Major League Soccer level, that you know, hey, you know what, this guy made it work out for me. I'm gonna show him that I still got something good here, right?
Right. Being around the block, a few different teams, you know, you've seen a lot of guys in your time, even when you're a great little flick there by Arno.
Tomaselli.
But you've seen guys along the road, down the road, and I'm sure you're gonna cross paths with these guys many, many more times again. It's always nice knowing you see that guy again during a match or during a game, and to know that you might have him in your back pocket or you're feeling pretty good about it.
Stewart being pressured. Looking for Tomaselli. Tomaselli will watch it sail through. Now the Republic have a chance. Guzman needs some better spacing by the Republic. They're all bunched together. Guzman takes one hard to the shin from Ackley.
Guzman looks like, you know, Ackley kind of bailed him out. Guzman didn't really know necessarily what to do. In that situation, you want to see Guzman just play the ball, get it off his foot, go get it back again, but move the ball. Fortunately for Republic, here we go. We got Roro on the ball. As Ackley. It looks like we got Ochoa checking in right now.
Ackley playing for his 9th team, played with the Carolina Railhawks, 12 and 13, making 36 appearances, but Sammy Ochoa is coming in for Arno. We get a moment here, and Sammy Ochoa, very dangerous player. 4 goals, second on the club. Lead the team in assists with 5. So he is a game changer for this club. And
you know, Arno, who just came out of the match, here's Alvarez on the ball. Good effort there. I think it might have been in between 2 minds there, taking a shot or service, but you know, it puts a good ball in. Unfortunately, I think it sailed a little bit on him, and Stuver was able to kind of collect that thing fairly easily and distribute. But going back to Arno has a pretty good resume. You know, signed with Everton probably about 2 or 3 years ago, played there for a year, straight out of college. I think he's another Wake Forest kid. But going from Wake Forest to Everton is a pretty tall task, and you know what? Here he is now, bounced around to a few different clubs, but like I said, I think the talent's there. It's just a matter of him figuring it out and putting the puzzle pieces together.
Player of the Carolina Dynamo during his college days, squirts it up to Guzman. Guzman to the middle, looking for Stewart. Comes Bartolome, and it's off to the left side, far post.
Yeah, Bartolome trailing that play nicely.
Guzman, man, look at the net there.
Yeah, good run through by Guzman there.
Crowd was waiting for that one. They were ready to explode here at Bonnie Field.
Yeah, so here we go. Roro with this in-swinging corner kick coming in. You'll see that there's going to be a Hammerheads player right in front of the goalpost, and the objective is going to be dip it right over that near post guy.
Vukovic, Braun, Stewart in there, sent far. Stewart didn't even jump.
Yeah, looks like there's a foul called on Braun for bumping. Maybe some grabbing going on.
Stuver. So Braun and Stewart have been playing up a little bit, not allowing Stuver anything.
Here's Bartolome trailing this play nicely.
Just a tip on it was Parrott.
Yeah, looks like Parrott.
Ooh, dangerous ball here. Stewart still up, as is Braun. Nicholson. Along the chin, Fairclough. Back of the Republic, Roro. Roro keeps it on the deck. Stewart, the intended target.
That's a good ball by Roro there.
A come off the shoulder from Daly. Clementa will take it over. Looking for a give and go. Over the top. Good ball by Alvarez. Poke to the middle. Here's Roro off the shin. Mirkovic. Give it away. Right back they come. Clementa to the middle. Tries to center it here and not able to find a teammate.
Well done by Daly there.
Guzman getting aggressive. Burns passing man. A little cross looking for Braun. Tomaselli got beat there. Now here's Braun. Braun looking to wind up. A shot on goal. Near post sends it wide.
Good effort there by Braun on his right foot, his favored right foot. Tries to bend it in that far post, just pushes a little bit wide. Totally okay with seeing Braun take that shot from there. So good effort. Unfortunately, sails a little bit wide.
Good outlet by Stuver here. The Hammerheads need to find some momentum.
Yeah, Republic need to take advantage of the next chance. There's going to be a chance here in the next 10-15 minutes, and Republic need to capitalize on it to kind of put this thing a little bit farther out of reach.
Sammy Ochoa's first touch of the night. Looking for Nicholson. Nicholson able to collect himself. Pulls backbone. Taken right back away. The Republic cough it up.
Yeah, Braun was streaking there for Roro.
And we're going to have another substitution from the Hammerheads. Ochoa, a Mexican national. Play in the under-20, under-23 national teams. Play the Sounders a couple of years, 17 appearances, 3 goals with Seattle. He's got some pretty good size to him, too. Fast and strong. Now the Hammerheads on a break. Ochoa was sleep through by Daly. Off the shin of Jakubek, a good save. Goes down to his knees inside the box.
Great save by Jakubek. Answers that call. We talked about it as the half started to see if Hammerheads can test Jakubek. Did so there. Jakubek answers that, and Ochoa makes a solid run to the outside, tries to play with the outside of the right foot, does exactly what he needs to do. Put that thing on target, make Jakubek make a save. So good play, and here see if the Republic can kind of regroup and make sure that doesn't happen again. Be solid in the back, close those gaps down. Here's a replay as Jakubek closes the legs. Looks like Ochoa is going for that 5-hole. The wickets of Jakubek, and Jakubek comes up strong and makes a great save.
And that breaks. Sonny Jane checking in. He replaces Nicholson. Sonny Jane, small country in South Africa. Play the University of Maryland, just a young fellow. And now it's getting a little tricky as Ruggles comes up and Braun go face to face.
Braun's got the samurai haircut right now. I don't know if I'd mess with him. Braun just looks like he's irritated with himself in that situation for handling the ball with his hand. So no big deal. He's walking it off.
We'll have a chat with the referee. Meanwhile, Sonny Jane moved to the United States, lived with a host family in Kentucky, and quickly became one of the best players in the state. And he moved here at 13 years old, and now here he is playing professional third-tier soccer with the Hammerheads. Here's Ruggles settling things down. Braun pacing.
Here's the replay.
A little bit of a push by Ruggles. Ruggles sends a cross into the middle. Cleared by Daly. Good ball out.
Looks like that service in by Ruggles wasn't high enough. Cleared out by Daly as it bounced into him.
Sacramento being tested since Ochoa's come in. The Hammerheads a little bit of a different face here.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to, they're really pressing right now, trying to make something happen, is what they need to do. But you know what, right now they might be stretching themselves a little bit too thin. Good ball by Bone there, out wide. But now's the time to capitalize on a counterattack as Hammerheads are really pushing forward. Let's see if we can catch them out a little bit here.
Here's Bone. Back to Ackley. Faircloth. And they'll have to set things back up again. Hammerheads trailing here in Sacramento. Tommy Stewart. has 4 goals in 2 games. Hat trick against Orange County a couple of nights ago in Irvine. Wilmington began 1996. They drew pretty well in their first year, but have struggled. They had to take a hiatus in 2010. They've worked their way back up. They play at Legion Stadium, which has about 6,000 seating capacity. Here's Guzman, a little bit of counter, looking for Tommy Stewart. Ruggles tracks it down.
Yeah, Guzman a little heavy there with that pass. I'd like to see maybe take another touch or two so that play can develop a little bit more. Looks like Tommy Stewart wasn't fully into his run. Neither was Braun on the other side of the field. Just a little bit too anxious with that, but good job by Guzman being in the right place at the right time to get that ball, collect it, and push forward.
Sonny Jane touching it for the first time. Wilmington with a new owner this year. They signed an agreement with Toronto FC and a loan program, and they trying to settle things down a little bit. They just hired a new technical director in Carson Porter. He worked with the U.S. Nationals for the U.S. Soccer with a scout for a while. See what kind of different mix they can use here. They've got a lot of North Carolina guys, that's for sure, but see what they can do to change things up. But meanwhile, they've same coach, same time. David Irving, 1990. Coached in Miami Freedom in 1991 as American Professional Soccer League as his real first chance. And it's been with Wilmington almost ever since. Found a home in North Carolina. It's interesting that things come together. Graham Smith and Preki, and working those two things, really those two guys together, and putting what they put here on this field in the first year, made it look very easy. Here's Ochoa.
A tough ball by Vukovic into
Jane Tomaselli to the middle, loses it for a moment, looking for a follower. Bone runs into some trouble. Here's a bender, picked up the hop by Jakubek.
Now Vukovic just zips one into Guzman with his back facing his own goal. Not the best ball into Guzman in my mind from Vukovic. Takes a heavy touch in the counterattack, and as the Hammerheads are right down the center defense with a decent shot on target, and then once again Jakubek answers the call. Tough ball to hold on to, especially with guys crashing right in front of you. So good job by Jakubek there.
Dumps off the side, Alvarez. He's been quiet here in the second half. To the right, now on the end line. And a sliding tackle by Ruggles. Ruggles has played very well here in the second half. What's the difference between him? He's been called upon to really try to slow down the Republic attack, and he's done a nice job of it.
Yeah, he's athletic. You know, he's got the skill and ability. Here's in a short corner here.
Sent it off the hop, kept low. No chance for the Republic.
I'm going to say it again. I'm not a fan of that short corner.
You know, you've never noticed. You've never mentioned such a thing.
It's so frustrating. You got two very, very good set-piece takers.
I'll have to review some of our tapes. I just don't remember you saying that. Here's Tommy Stewart. Out to Alvarez. Sacramento looks so crisp with their passing late in the second part of the first half. Here in the second, they really haven't had it together. The spacing is coming together. It's just not really there.
But you know what? They've been in this area of the field for the majority of the half, which I think is good to see. They're doing a good job, and I think that's also, we can credit Vukovic and Daly for stepping high. I'd still like to see them make sure that they have their outside backs tucked in when the opposite guy's up going forward. Here's
good ball there.
Good ball by Vukovic.
Justin Braun fighting, trying to 1-on-4. Didn't happen. Tomaselli.
Here's a counterattack opportunity.
Out to Ochoa. Ochoa scoring the Mohawk. Bleach tips there.
And going back to where the Republic have kept the ball in there, attacking third for the majority of this half, it feels like.
Good ball over the top to Jane. Jane off the shoulder. Jane with a shot off the arm of Jakubek. Has to come out, a double punch over the bar.
That is an unbelievable save by Jakubek. Staying big, staying up. Typically in that situation, you see a goalkeeper go down to the ground really quickly. Jakubek stays up, stays big. The battalion's loving it right now. Off the arm, goes up with solid fists and pushes it over the top of the crossbar. Phenomenal save there by Jakubek. Here's his second save right now.
There was
two fists
right there as well.
Yeah, big body of Ochoa coming in here. Jakubek being brave. Great save. Great save. This is, once again, we talked about Djokovic's highlight reel. There's another one. His first save was phenomenal.
Not bad for what they call him, the old guy, 34 years old from Lodi, California.
And that is such a big, big play here. Without Djokovic's save, it's 1-1. And we got 20, 25 minutes to go in this match, and all of a sudden we're climbing the hill trying to get those 3 points. And Hammerheads are going to have the momentum going forward. So, you know what? Full credit to Djokovic there for coming up huge on that save.
Sonny Jane, who just came into the match here with a good shot on goal, too. That was a good-looking chance. I mean, he played that pretty well. If not an attacker, it's probably one of the best shots you're going to take.
Yeah, you know, and if he's going to look at that again and, you know, maybe he's watching tape in the next couple of days, he's going to, I know, I'll probably do the same thing again if I had the chance. I'm happy with that result. Djokovic just...
Looking over the top, Roro. Looking for a handball from Faircloth, won't get it.
He was close. He was close to that 18-yard box.
Into the middle, Vukovic steps up. Dance with it, but maybe that's a little bit of a wake-up call too, Kevin, as Djokovic had to come out and really save this Republic team who's been a little bit flat. They just haven't had that crisp, that aggressiveness that we've seen. But here's Max Alvarez fighting with Tomaselli, and he finally goes down. Looks like he might have taken one to the face.
So you said it, Rob. It's a wake-up call for Republic. It should be a wake-up call, but it's also going to be a wake-up call for the Hammerheads here. Now they know that they can break through this back four and keep pushing, keep pushing. And I think that that might be the wake-up call that they need to know that, hey, we got 20 minutes to go here. Let's go out there, let's fight and get a result. So kind of double-edged sword there. Yeah, it's going to wake the Republic up. At the same time, it's definitely going to wake up the Hammerheads here. And if we're given a chance here in the next 20 minutes, it's going to be vital that we take that chance and put the ball in the back of the net so we can get some separation here. So this is when these matches really become fun to watch. As a fan, where I get excited, you know, we got 20 minutes to go. We're up 1-0. You know, not too many chances on goal, but I tell you what, this is where the chess match and the strategy really starts coming into play, and you see the momentum shift. You really feel the momentum shift. And it's going to be interesting to see. We'll watch the next 10, 15 minutes to see what side, Hammerheads or Republic, who's going to step up and really put their foot on the ball here.
Here's the Sac State grad, Max Alvarez from the set piece with the left foot. Bends it in.
Good ball in again. Love that ball.
Kept it high to Kevin Goldthwaite's liking. Not a maple jersey around, though. There's Ruggles again.
Yeah, and that's
so good to get back to the ball.
That's Alvarez's job there. Just put the ball in that situation. Make sure that there's solid runs going in the box. The runs might not have been there, but you know what? I might call that the reason why is because there's been a couple of short corners, and those runs are all for naught on those situations, and it's just going to de-incentivize these attacking players to make those strong, crisp runs in there.
Whistle blows, foul on Clementa. Set things up for Wilmington Hammerheads. Bad ball there by the Hammerheads, just gave it away. This is Sacramento's bread and butter. These quick throw-ins, they seem to really convert well on these plays.
Yeah, now the point of the game also, you need to start thinking about time. So Republic are going to want to slow the game down. So in those situations, you don't necessarily want to take these quick throw-ins. Slow it down, get your guys in position. It's okay if the Hammerheads corner kick here, slow it down again. Take these 30 seconds, 45 seconds, set the play up, make sure everything's right. If I'm Preki, I'm telling guys, no short corners, no quick throw-ins. Let's slow things down, especially when we're in an attacking third.
It looks like Preki might be adding some speed. Jissi and Gilberto would be coming in and talk about moving up the decibels a little bit, getting this plays a little bit louder and moving the treadmill. This thing is going to get a bit quicker here. So slow things down. Preki might say, let's have these guys attack. Here's Roro. Cross to the middle. Comes away, Stuver, punch it away. Buffon just with a little flip. Here's Vukovic, and Vukovic sends it wide. Hits the net, but on the wrong side.
Oh, Vukovic knows it too. He's on his favorite left foot. Just hit it hard back post, buddy. Good save though. Earn another corner out of this situation. Good ball in there by Guzman. The little one-touch, little bender. The wind kind of held it up. Tommy Stewart fighting off. Falls right to Vukovic's feet.
Great chip. Here it is again. Instant replay almost. Chad Bartlett may be held trying to go up. No whistle blown.
But you know what? That's the chance. You take that chance. You put that ball in the back of the net, and it's a completely different game. Very, very unfortunate. I tell you, Stuver comes up huge to keep the Hammerheads in this match, similar as Djokovic did a few moments ago. And here's the replay. Falls to Vukovic. Good first touch with his right foot. Kind of under his feet a little bit.
And just got a piece of it.
Strikes it cleanly, though, with that left foot.
Stuver
makes a good save on it. Pushes it just wide.
So So Jissy, the young fella, getting some time, and Gilberto with a new fresh haircut in as well. Love Gissy's speed. Match that with Gilberto. We could see some lighting here. Gilberto looks to be in a little bit of better shape, too. Drop some pounds. This could be dangerous for Sacramento's opponents coming into this postseason. He's able to get on the field.
Gilberto looks fit right now. He does.
He's already flying around. I'm interested to see how him and Jissy can work together.
You can see Gilberto wants the ball at his feet right now. So he's got 15, 20 minutes to make an impression here, and I think he's going to make an impression. So I'm excited to see what he does here in the next few minutes.
Turning up the heat here. Hammerhead's going to have a little bit of speed to deal with. Getting back and offside. Gottleman called. So back they come. So as they put Jissy out on the wing, replacing Alvarez, maybe you lose a little bit on your set pieces, but maybe add some speed out on that wing.
Yeah, but you'll be okay with Roro in there taking those set pieces still. But you do gain that pace. But it looks like, Gissy's tucking in a little bit here, giving Clementa some freedom. But I'm still leery and worrisome with Clementa and Bartolome pressing as high as they are and have been this match. It's a great ball by Roro, spreading the field.
Well, you've seen Roro come back a little bit more as they've moved up. Here's Clementa. Jissy out on his right wing. Down goes hard is Braun. Won't get the call. Faircloth's the one who sent him to his knees, and Braun has a few things to say to the referee. Quick throw in. Gilberto a little bit too fast for his own good. Working well. He really just danced out there. If they ever have one of those, what's it, Dancing with the Stars, all the football players do, Gilberto might win this whole thing if he's ever able to get on that show. He's got great moves.
This is Brazilian in him right there.
Gilberto slowing things down, finding Jissy, getting pressed by the Hammerheads, but looking good right now. It's the Republic controlling this ball here. Keeping Ochoa out of this. Rodrigo Lopez in the middle of the park. Gilberto. Good passing set right now by the Republic. Here's Jissy. They're putting on a clinic. Watch this at home, boys and girls.
Very patient. Love seeing this. 1-2 touch, moving the ball side to side.
Into the middle, tried to force it there.
Yeah, forced that one. Roro did.
No need.
Great seeing the side to side.
Ball's down. Clementa! Everyone waited. They thought there'd be a foul. Jane goes to the turf, and Clementa makes them pay.
I don't know how that wasn't called a foul. I tell you what, if I was a Hammerhead player, I would be in the ref's face. He got a couple guys right there. That changes the whole complexity of this game now. Great finish by Clementa, though. As we'll see the replay here in a few moments, but looks like Clementa just takes that ball outside of the box, winds up with his right foot, slides it right past Stuver on the near post. And here he is. Looks like
I think he just went down.
I don't know. He went down real soft. Clementa doesn't hear a whistle.
Just sends it through the net. Stuver could not get to it.
And that's a little daisy cutter, Rob, right along the top of the grass. Doesn't look like it touches the grass once. Little daisy cutter. Great strike by Clementa. Puts us in a nice situation here for the next 15 minutes.
Second goal of the season for Emerald Clementa. As it comes, and now it's a yellow card against Ruggles.
Tell you what, if I'm Ruggles, I'm okay with that. And I'm surprised there's only one card being thrown for dissent, because that is just, it's a tough call. I think it's the right call. Jane went down pretty softly there, but in those situations, 9 times out of 10, the referee's just gonna give it to him. But I don't know if it's a foul, I really don't.
It looked like he almost flopped a little bit, so Sonny Jane in the lesson from Emerald Clementa. Aggressive, pays off, unassisted goal. Sacramento now leads by 2. But back come the Hammerheads. Jakubek looking for Braun. And Braun able to find Roro. That passing clinic right before that goal, though, was something to write down, rewatch again. That was some beautiful work there by the Republic. Gave it up a little bit. Roro tried to force it in, but right come the Republic as Emerald Clementa was able to take it away. And that's when they say, when they've been attacking, when they've been more aggressive, they've been more physical, it's paid off. And that's why they have 17 goals, and there's a foul. That's going to go against Roro.
Yeah, maybe a little makeup call here. I bet you in the next couple calls, if there's any sort of a discrepancy on who's it against, it's going to go against the Republic as the refs trying to make amends for that last goal. But going back to the play before the goal, seeing the patience by the Republic, that's something that we didn't see earlier in the season. You saw a lot of people trying to force things down the middle, things that weren't necessarily there, trying to force that final pass. And if you watch these, you know,
getting physical daily with a little bit of a shrug. And now it's getting a little heated down there in the line. We'll visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. And don't forget, every match is right here on Match Day tab of the Sacramento Republic website. You can tune us in here on YouTube, rewatch the matches if you missed something. You can go back and, of course, it's pretty much DVR action here, so it's all good. If you want to tune us in, alongside Kevin Goldthwait, I'm Rob McAllister for yet another match. We appreciate you tuning in all season and watching these great matches for the Sacramento Republic inaugural year, and it's been a pleasure to bring you here from the broadcast booth, especially here at Bonding Field. And it is a great match here tonight as Sacramento up 2-0. Tommy Stewart scored in the 15th. Now it's Justin Braun looking at a third. Braun finding Stewart! A little tip shot over the top, over the crossbar, wants that one back.
oh boy, great run there by Braun. Great run by Stewart. Stewart does everything but keep that ball below the crossbar. And that starts with Roro getting the ball in the middle, finding Stewart as, finding Braun as Braun peels out. Braun takes one touch, plays it across to Stewart on Stewart's left foot. I think with Stewart's form right now, I think he's pretty upset with himself for not hitting target there. But you know what? Good run, good effort there. And I tell you, I think the next 10 minutes is this game might get a bit chippy here.
Ochoa, little flick. Sonny Jane goes down.
So once again, another makeup call here. You're going to see this. I mean, it looks like the referee is either losing a bit of control or trying to gain some control.
So Braun and Stewart are making their moves. Talk with Stewart, who is assisted by Braun the 15th man. Then Clemente comes back here in the second half. And that's where we have this lead here. Nearly another chance for Sacramento, but a set piece here for the Hammerheads. They haven't had too many of these tonight. They've had some dangerous balls in. Jakobek making two incredible saves back-to-back. Sonny Jane shot stopped as he went to his knees, got back up, and double-fisted that ball away.
Yeah, 10-1. Ochoa's putting this on target, trying to shoot this here.
Bone in motion, and that's almost over the top, sends it way over the bleachers.
Yeah, Ochoa, you know, I don't fault him that. Here we got 10 minutes left in this match. Try to make something happen. It looks like he might have been trying to hit a bit of a knuckleball in that situation, and just mishits it a little bit and blows it over the top of the frame.
Vukovic into the middle. Here's Roro pushing his Braun. Stewart would have been offside. Roro kept it. Gets back onside. Here's Gilberto. Now he's turning it up. Turns upfield. Now he's heading downfield, it looks like. Downhill, I should say. Here's a shot by Jissy. A strong chance. Whistle blows, and Stuver nearly saw another one find the net. And we have a pretty serious injury, as they see him on the turf here. It appears rolling on the ground. Can't see the number, maybe Ackley. He continues to take time to get up. Well, as he takes his chance, or time I should say, we want to thank all you fans for helping us reach another consecutive sellout here. 8,000 tickets sold here. So it takes that USL Pro attendance record to 134,107. And as a Republic, they'd like to thank you, all of us here, to being the best soccer fans in the country, as Ackley is hobbling as he tries to make his way back up on the turf here. And Kevin, it's been pretty incredible. We saw the Knights out here. They drew some big-time attendance records in the indoor game, playing at Arco Arena. Very exciting, from 93 to 2001, and here we are again. I think soccer fans have found their way back to this beautiful game.
Yeah, those Knights games were very, very memorable games.
Stuver, so the wind picks up a little bit, and a little cold here on a school night. It's almost 10 o'clock here. I know it's a little bit tough once the kids get back to school, so we do appreciate a lot of them who have stuck around, keeping the kids out here. And I know a few of them didn't want to leave early, but I'm sure that mom and dad did not want to have a cranky kid going to school tomorrow. sure your mom and dad had to take you away a few times, but without your, I guess, pleasure.
Absolutely.
As we look for the playoff picture now, Sacramento looking to secure a home match. Store holds here tonight. They will do that. Right now they sit in third spot. Now we still have Oklahoma City, Charleston, and the Galaxy. You know, these teams they'll be facing here in the next few weeks. And the Hammerheads again. And those are all playoff teams, Kevin. So it's going to be a good test. And Oklahoma City could be the squad that they face. And then opening round, they'll have them right back here. Lost the first two to the Energy on the road. And they've taken the next one, Bonnie Field, and they're trying to do that again and even that series up. It's the one team that's given the Republic a little bit of fits this year.
Yeah, and you know, it's something here. We got the next few games leading up to this, the end of the season. All playoff picture type teams. Real important for the Republic to keep playing well, go out, get good results against guys like that, or groups like that. And I like seeing those teams on the schedule towards the end of the season, because you know that Preki's going to do what he needs to do to get these guys prepared mentally and physically.
So Gilberto,
Parrott
is that Parrott again?
Parrott gets stood on a bit as Jissy rolls over the top. I don't think there's any intent there once again.
But you're right, but Sacramento, Richmond, and Orlando have been playing lights out. I mean, they've been playing the best. Orlando has slipped a little bit, but overall they've been playing great. Everyone else has not really been solid. LA's been slipping. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10 matches.
They're struggling right now, right?
You know, they've got 3-4 at home, which is going to help them. But the Galaxy, too, maybe it's setting guys up and down as much as they do. But, you know, Richmond is on an unbeaten 20 games now in a row.
Yeah, so I mean, right now it seems like it's between Richmond, Orlando, and Sac right now. So it'd be interesting to see how this thing shakes out towards the end of the season with the playoff picture and who's going to have home field advantage. Real important, though, if Sac can do what they can do, as Gilberto's pulled here, do what they can do what's necessary to really just try to get things in their own control and have that home field advantage. But they're going to need some help from these other squads with Orlando and Richmond. Maybe dropping some points here and there would be great for Sacramento.
And those two squads will face off on Saturday. And kickers have a good shot at taking over first place. Here's Clemente, already has a goal tonight. Working his way in, a little bit of a cross. Too slow, Jissy gonna try to track it down, does. Flip over to Bartlome. Bartlome loses his footing, goes down.
Great ball in there by Clemente. Looking for that back post, maybe with Jissy kind of crashing.
It's up, Bartlome, showing some acrobatic ability. Let's get to a Twitter question, shall we, Kevin?
Yeah, so we got Samurai Code here asking what's the teams, our biggest challenges going into the playoffs here, and we kind of were touching on what's going on in the playoffs. I think momentum is the first thing that I can think of, and especially the other thing with momentum goes with keeping guys healthy and fit. We got a few games left that are going to have a lot of meaning to them, with it being the hope and ability to make sure we can get that home field advantage. So the biggest challenges I see is keeping the momentum and keeping guys fit and healthy. Along with that, I would also like to say that I think as Roro gets the ball here.
Lopez pausing. Roro going to pull it back out. So right now, if they started, and here's Gilberto. Gilberto's not done. He's going to go toward the net. And he'll pull it back out. Look, Preki might tell him to slow things down a little bit, make sure you get a good shot on goal. Here's Tommy Stewart. Back comes Roro. Doing a little flip. Roro into the box. Another one. Stewart. Stewart can't get it down. Jissy out wide, far post. But if playoffs started right now, Kevin, what you're looking at is the Charleston Battery versus the Republic. The Charleston Battery will be here next Wednesday night. Could be a playoff preview there. Right behind them is the Rochester Rhinos and the Energy from Oklahoma City. So those three teams are one of those likely to face Sacramento here at Bonnie Field on that opening weekend, which would be about the September 12th, 13th weekend without looking at a calendar.
Yeah, you know, and going back to what I think Republic need to do, what are the challenges that they're going to face here? It's also the mentality of the team. As we go, are they going to have the legs and the stamina really mentally to keep going through the end of the season and pushing and to continue performing like they're performing right now, which, I mean, all signs are pointing to yes, but who knows? If they hit a bump in the road and something happens, you know, with the team internally or whatever it is, things can really go, haywire rather quickly. So I think that's the responsibility of Preki to make sure that as guys, it's that fine balance of pushing and pulling back, pushing, pulling back, and with these games coming up here in the next 4 or 5 weeks, it's going to be real exciting to see how things shake out.
We'll score, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLProSoccer.com for all of those you following online right now. We do appreciate you sending your questions on Twitter as well, and Kevin Goldthwait breaking them down for you. We'll try to do more of these as the season goes on, and I know that a lot of people do appreciate the insight. We appreciate you sending in and watching these games, and you're right, Kevin, it's got a lot chippy out here. It's been back and forth, a lot of guys hitting the turf here as we're moving into the final minutes here of this match. And the one thing that stuck out to me, we've watched this team give up those goals really late in the first half and early on in the second half. Tonight they did well at both ends of that. Yeah,
they've been doing well the last few matches in that regard, with not conceding goals in those times we've talked about at the start of the games and at the end of halves and games.
Barrett looking for Ochoa. Ochoa waiting for the ball to settle. Vukovic not giving it a chance. Ochoa.
Well done. Well done by Vukovic. Concedes a throw in there, saves a corner kick. But you're right. I mean, what the Republic have done, I think the issues and problems that they've had towards the middle part of the season and the beginning of the season, a lot of them have been rectified with conceding goals in inopportune times, or being a little bit too forceful with the ball and not being patient enough. I think tonight's a good example of them solving those issues. And I think Preki might have realized that and has been cognizant and aware that that's something that they need to work on. And they've done that, which is a sign of a good team and good management in my mind.
Not a whole lot of complaints this season as Sacramento has found their stride, and now in stride goes Justin Braun. Tommy Stewart over the middle. Braun's going to fire it up. Tries to squeak it inside that far post. Just bent a little too wide and curves away and out of play.
Yeah, looks like Faircloth was kind of baiting Braun a little bit, taking a little stutter steps to and from. Braun elects to take the shot from outside the box. Might have had Stewart a little bit earlier if he wanted to play him, but I think the decision not to play him, that eliminated Stewart from the play, and I'm glad Braun was able to make a decision to take the shot from outside the box, even though he missed target there.
Ruggles coughs it up. Roro slowing things down here as we move. There's some extra time as we'll have 3 minutes of stoppage. Throw in. Gilberto able to get a toe on it. Slow it up. At this point in time, 3 minutes left. It's going to take a lot for the Hammerheads to find it, but against their Sacramento, more or less anything else, you want to keep
the clean sheet, Rob.
Right, exactly. Keep the shutout here. I know Jakubek is so upset with himself when he allows a goal, and even though it may not be his fault sometimes, it's literally like someone has stolen from him.
Yeah,
he is so mad about it.
And I totally agree. I can sympathize with that. You've put in a solid 90 minutes so far to concede something in extra time, especially when you're up 2-1. A little garbage goal, you might call it. You have a completely different feeling walking into the locker room. You have a feeling of just disappointment. So, keep going, keep fighting for the last 3 minutes. To go in there to really feel good about your work for the night and keeping that clean sheet.
Gilberto tries to make a move. Picked it up.
Put it through someone's legs in his defensive third. Don't like seeing that. Good decision there to let that thing roll out. Kill some time here.
Tomaselli now here over to Ruggles. Ruggles give it to the Republic. Ruggles played well in that left back position tonight. He moved back there, started as a midfielder when Tomaselli checked in. Tommy Stewart held there by Ackley. Did not get it. Sonny Jane trying to work a lane.
Well done by Jesse there.
On the season, Dominic Jakubek with 2 shutouts, looking for his 3rd here this evening. Tommy Stewart out on the end line. Tommy Stewart again with another goal this evening. He has 11 on the season after that score. And his shots, only 39 shots on goal this season. That's a pretty darn good average.
His strike rate's got to be pretty good too. He had that hamstring injury for a while. Missed a few games during the middle of the season. Looks like he's finally kind of coming back to his original form here and settle in with his team. I think.
So the victory here, it's going to be fun here. Playoff atmosphere here. This place better be rocking. I think that fans have seen some good soccer, almost getting used to it. A win here at home. They've only lost 1 time in Sacramento. For fans that don't watch the team out on the road, they probably think this team never loses.
Yeah, that's the sign. Once again, Good teams do this. Play at home. Home games, they're getting results.
Lopez looking around. They've definitely played well. Once Bonnie Field opened, it's just been a different atmosphere and a late foul here. And there could be a yellow card. A caution is thrown. So caution given to Gottleman.
Roro getting upset about that. We got a couple seconds left in this game. He's dancing on the ball. He's going to get kicked. He's got to know that. He's going to get kicked in that situation.
This might be the final set piece for the Republic. We're in stoppage time. 3 minutes was added. And there's the whistle. And there you go. Sacramento does it again. They win here at home. And they improve their overall record on the season to 15-6-3. Pick up 3 more points, 48 now on the year. And they're moving in closer to those final 2 positions. They trailed by 4 heading in this one to Rochester. They're now just a point behind, and they're inching closer to Orlando City as well. Sacramento, great game here, Kevin Goldthwait. We saw almost an easy tip goal, but it really was Justin Braun who made a great pass, found Tommy Stewart running that lane, scored in the 15th minute, and then Emerick Clementa using a little bit of that physical strength of his and just powers one into the net. 2-0. Jakubek, 3 great saves tonight.
Yeah, after Jakubek, I think, you know, making that save, that is a huge save. You see him, he's walking off the field right now. He's got his goalkeeper coach, Gleason, coming up to him, and the assistant coach saying, hey, and you see Jakubek, you know, miming that save he made. And those guys realize how big of a save that was. That kept this game out of the Hammerheads' reach. And I really want to give credit to Jakubek for doing a great job on that save. Really coming up big for his team here tonight. And I tell you what, clean sheet, 2 goals here. I'll take it all day, Rob. All day, clean sheets. And once again, just a great performance by Republic. Back 4, a couple of shaky points here and there, but you know what? Can't argue with the clean sheet. And here we go. Result tonight, 3 points. Love it.
And man of the match, it looks like it will be Dominic Jakubek, and I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Jakubek kept this game alive for the Republic. The 3 points on the table for him. Really doesn't have too much to do. Makes 2 saves in the second half. Two you know, legit good saves. But none bigger than his second save to keep this thing at 0 for the Hammerheads.
And we talk so much about the training that a lot of these guys do, and one thing Dominic has said, the one thing he has really grabbed onto the last several years is yoga. I think we saw a couple yoga moves out there tonight where those saves there. I don't think you make those moves without being flexible.
Do what you can do. Do what you got to do, Jakubek.
And so let's go down to Scott Marsh here, and with the player of the game, it's the goalkeeper, Dominic Jakubek, 34 years of age from Lodi, California. Such a thrill for him to be playing here in his hometown and getting a pretty good chance. Let's go down the field.
And our player of the game.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Here with Dominic Jakubek, our player of the game. How about the shutout tonight for Big Dom, everybody? That's right, let's give it up for him. Dom, talk about getting that shutout tonight. You had a couple big saves in the second half tonight to keep the shutout.
Yeah, you know, just been working hard, staying focused, and just trying to save what my defense gives me. As you can see, I don't get tested much. So when I get tested, I got to get called upon, and I've just been working hard at doing the basics, and that's what came out, made some saves.
Absolutely, you did tonight. Now, you talk about focus. Talk about staying focused when you're not starting every game. How do you keep your focus when you do get the call?
Oh, man, that doesn't even cross my mind, man. I have a great coaching staff here, and my fellow goalkeeper, Jay Gleason. We work so well together, man. Whoever is going to play is going to get the W, man. There's no worrying about who's playing. Just be prepared when you get your name called.
Yeah, but I know it's got to feel good for you guys tonight with the victory. You guys clinch a first-round home game here tonight at Bonnie Field, where you guys are continuing to be undefeated here at Bonnie Field.
Yes, yeah, it's for you guys, man. It's for the fans. We knew from the start that it was going to be a special thing out here, and you guys are making it fantastic, and we're doing it for you guys and the whole city, and we're doing it to go as far as we can.
Well, congratulations on being our Bonnie player of the game. Go celebrate with your teammates, Dom. All right, thanks for being our player of the game. Dominic Jakubek with the shutout tonight. Back up to you, Jamie.
So Dominic Jakubek is our player of the game there. Tower Bridge Battalion. Get a couple high fives. Gilberto Gissi, Bron, the whole crew out there slapping high fives. This is the one thing I love about soccer, is that you have the players so interactive with the fans. And, you know, it's genuine. I don't know. There's just really not this idea of, oh, and maybe soccer's not big enough here in the States. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like that's it. It just seems that they do appreciate it. They feed off that energy, and that crowd is screaming. And I'll tell you what, it gets us excited here in the booth a lot of times. You hear the Tower Bridge Battalion and all these 8,000 fans screaming.
Right, I mean, the players here in MLS and USL and NASL, whatever league it is, the soccer leagues in the U.S., the players are so accessible to the fans, which is just great. I think the leagues are young enough right now where you don't have many of those superstar mentalities. You know, think about a Jakubek around town or a Roro around town, staying active on social media. These guys love the attention that they get. And it's just something that I think so organic and great for the sport of Sacramento is how responsive and active these players are in the community. And it's something special, I think, that these fans here in Sacramento really, really have a good group of guys that are happy to be here and love the support that they're given.
Okay, so we know the victory tonight. We got that solidified. The Tower Bridge Battalion still hanging out here on your screen. But as we look ahead now, you've got a week off, and then we're right back here next Wednesday, same time, at Charleston Battery, a possible playoff matchup. You said you want to keep them being aggressive, but Charleston, they've been playing very well. This is a team that's on the rise, and they could really threaten the Galaxy, although it's probably a far reach for that 4th spot, but they're playing like a top 4 or 5 team right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good challenge for them. The good thing about what the Republic are working with right now, they got a good solid 7 days off. They can go through their normal week of training. You get these guys peaking, come Saturday, Sunday, taper them off Monday, Tuesday, and have the game on Wednesday. So love seeing that we have this good solid week of preparation for that game next week to really, once again, build off the momentum. I keep saying it and keep harping on it, but that's going to be so vital for these guys to continue to get better as the season goes on and the playoffs are approaching.
And then just 3 nights later, I should say, they'll be in North Carolina at Legion Stadium taking on this very same Hammerheads team. That is on August 30th. And then September 4th and 6th, the Energy from Oklahoma City, and then the Galaxy here to round out the season, Kevin. And the following week from that, we'll begin playoffs. It's amazing how fast the season's gone already. So
yeah, here we are.
Here we are. We want to thank our entire broadcast crew tonight here, and appreciate everyone checking in and watching here tonight. So from Sacramento, I want to thank everyone who's been able to help us out here this evening. We're going to close things out tonight. We appreciate you tuning into the broadcast. And for Kevin Goldthwaite, I'm Rob McAllister, and we're going to go here now to Jake Gleason once again.
I'm Jake Gleason, and I play goalkeeper. So I was born in Palmerston, Northern New Zealand. Obviously not the hotbed of soccer for the world. Growing up, I was like, I want to be a professional cricket player. I had no doubt that that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I was going to do. But then one faithful day, I was actually at my best friend's house, and he asked if I wanted just to come to the trial the next morning, just sit on the sideline, and my dad would pick me up from there. So I went along and was playing with a rugby ball on the sideline, and they were 1 player short. And they were like, do you just want to jump and goal and, make up some numbers? So I jumped in and just flew myself about and kind of made a decent impression, I guess. I was a pretty crazy little kid. And about 3 weeks later, their starting goalie dislocated in his knee and asked if they wanted to play. And I was like, sure, I'll give it a whirl. And I always took soccer just for fun. Never thought I was going to make anything of myself. But when I turned 16, I would say that my goalie coach, Mark Oates, he pulled me aside one day and said, I want you to start trying. I want you to come and work with me because, I think you can do this. I think this is something you can do. And I was like, if you really believe me, I'll work as hard as you want me to work, and we'll see where it goes. And 2 years later, I'm playing in the Under-17 World Cup, and 2.5 years later, I'm trying at Manchester United. So he really changed my perception of what I could do. And, I definitely wouldn't be here without him. And then I got a call from a guy called Nate Winkle, who was helping me out trying to get to a college in America. And he was like, do you want to go and train and trial with the Portland Timbers? And he was like, they're going to be moving to the MLS next year. They're a USL club. They want you to go play for the youth team and, basically go on a year-long trial and see how it goes. And I was like, why wouldn't I? You know, it's a great opportunity. So I went over and basically just thought, yes, it's going to be like a year-long holiday, play a bit of football, experience the country, have a good time, and then, you know, hopefully I could get something out of it. But, you know, to become a professional it's not an easy task. No, I love Sacramento. Midtown's a great place. The weather is fantastic. The people are really nice. You know, it definitely blew my expectations, which I was very, very happy about. And for me, I mean, the highlight this year has got to be the home opener. You know, walking out there at a huge stadium, you know, the battalion was in full force. You know, the crowd was unbelievable. The air was filled with electricity. It was, you know, it was just a special, special night. And it was the start of something real, something very, very exciting.
Jake Gleason, gentle giant, wonderful size, colossus of a man.
He's really moody when he wakes up. Really moody. Don't ever catch him when he wakes up, but other than that, he's phenomenal. Great person.
He gives assurance to the defense. He's very, very calm. Which is a good quality in goalkeeping.
There's just something interesting about that goalie position. It's just fact in the soccer world. It's just goalies have something else that a midfielder might not have.
You know, people keep telling me that, and you know, I can see why. You know, people kick balls at us from, you know, every angle, from every distance, and they think we're crazy. Like, this is how I see it. We stand there for 90 minutes and have the ball come to us. Outfield players spend 90 minutes chasing a ball. I mean, who's crazier, us or them? I don't want to run around for 90 minutes. I guarantee you, coming in this year, no one would have thought that we would be where we are. And that it's exciting. You know, that shows that they're the right people are in the right place here. What I saw in Portland in 2010 and what I see here is it's very, very similar. The buzz is there, the excitement's there, the drive from the owner is there, the end goal of what they want to achieve here is there. I mean, obviously the work over the next year is going to be huge, you know, from stadium to players to broadcasting to everything that is involved with Major League Soccer. It's a big step up, but I have no doubt in my mind that the city is more than capable of making that jump. And it's something that this town will definitely embrace, I have no doubt in my mind. And MLS needs Sacramento, and Sacramento needs Major League Soccer.